Hey, how is everybody? My name is Diamond Stylz. I go live every Friday at 7 o'clock talking about whatever's popping in pop culture. And today we're going to talk about consent because, it's a hot topic with this Suki and Black Osiris situation. If you are returning, make sure you thumbs up as you come in. Hey, Miss Polk, how are you? Hey, Miss Polk, how are you? We are going to talk about consent because, it's a hot topic because Sukiyana and YK had their little moment. Word. Hey, Mike. Hey, Cleo. Hey, Jay. All right. So we're going to get right. Hey, Musa. We want to get right into it. Ah, 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 ah. ah. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. I have been really, really good working. This is Pride Month, so we are working. They're working like a dog. Traveling. I'll be in San Francisco next week for their Pride. One of my friends is Brianna McCree, and she's been on the show, and she is the Grand Marshal in San Francisco Pride this week. One of them next week, or not this week. Next week, I can remember next week. Yeah. So congratulations to her. Sending all the love to all the girls during the estrogen shortage. Is it an estrogen shortage? My estrogen. Where's my estrogen? Oh, y'all talk about the shots. I don't like for some reason, not for some reason, another reason. Um Drink water. I know for I'm already a thick, voluptuous, body yaddy yaddy girl. When I be on shots, them joys be they be they be making me too big, child. Not trying to be fat phobic, but I'm okay with where I'm at. I don't want to go any further. And so I try to balance it, honey. And so the pills seem to, because they're going through your liver and not directly in your bloodstream, the pills seem to be cool. We usually get the conversation started 5, 10 minutes in. We just let people stroll on in. I've been off my shot for 3 weeks. Ooh, come on, blowing up. No, man. Not me. Is this a shortage across the states or in certain states? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard it about testosterone for the guys, but I haven't heard it about estrogen. There must be some new stuff. But I have like 2 vials and pills, so I ain't even thinking about it. I'm real white woman about it. If it don't affect me, I can't see it. White woman and white man. If it doesn't affect me, I'm blind to it. Rich. But also, I'm not bougie about my medication. I'll tip on down to Mexico and get me some Pervital or Pervideal if I need to. That's what I was doing for years, and I'll do it again. So I'm not against finding what I need. So I'm thicker. I need larger dose, and the larger dose medication is on the shorter side, I guess. Larger, you need a larger dose. Well, you gotta be careful with that. If you have too much estrogen in your body that's not within the range of normal, because everybody creates. For people who don't know, every person creates estrogen and testosterone, but it just depends on which one is dominant based on your genetics or whatever. And so, if you are going overboard with estrogen or testosterone, particularly estrogen, it will do the opposite of what you want it to do. Yeah, Perladil is my. I used to be pickled off of Perladil. Yes, because what the extra estrogen will turn into testosterone, and then you're doing the opposite of what you want it to do. Okay, good. As long as you get your blood work and all of that checked out. As long as you getting your blood work checked out with your how do you I always say this word wrong, but endocrinologist, whatever it is, you know what I mean. I want to check your hormone levels and your blood levels. All right, I came in late, so let's get it started. So, if you don't know, y'all can search this on Twitter, Instagram, blah 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 blah, wherever wherever you want to search it. Um, Suki was on a panel. I don't know exactly where they were, but Suki, him, and some other people, some comedians, funny folks, were on a panel or something, and um, YK started rubbing on Suki's shoulders, and then weird, awkwardly, from his point of view, I think it looked like he was playfully trying to force her to kiss him, like leaning over, trying to kiss her in the mouth and hold her, pull her face to his face to try to kiss her. And she's like, like laughing. And you know how when a dude is doing something awkward that you don't want him to do, but you also don't want to um make it all weird and motherfucker, and angry, and you kind of like, oh, boy, side. And that's what she was doing, but you can tell she's like, no, like, don't be trying to kiss me, boy. And so there was this moment of, and then he tried to do it again, like like instead of him, she finally got away from him, and then he continues to try to push her face to kiss him, and she's like, "Yo," she's and so he finally gives up, and it all seemed playful, but then the internet is like, "Yo, this is something we have to deal with as women," and this is a perfect example of how y'all go too far, you play too much, and this is the type of stuff that leads to problems when it comes to consent and you doing things and forcing yourself on people or forcing yourself in these awkward, overly intimate situations that y'all need to check. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanted to talk about consent, because I kind of, in my brain, I really don't understand why consent is this hard to grasp. And it's not that I really believe that it's that hard to grasp. What it is they don't want to grasp it. They want to have access, they want to be free to navigate women's personal space and their bodies in whatever way that they want to. And by forcing them or having them to consider, to stop and pause and consider what the woman wants, it stops them from being able to have that freedom. So they don't, it's not that they don't understand consent, because if you talk to men about gay men touching them, or gay men flirting with them, or gay men being too close to them, or gay men doing anything to a straight man that makes him feel uncomfortable, they're easy and quick to know what consent is, and how what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. They quick to know when it comes to their personal boundaries and their sexuality. They're easy to call that out and know what that is. So they, it's not that they don't understand consent, it's that they don't want to consent. They don't want to look for consent. They don't want to pause consent. They don't want to be accountable for stopping and respecting somebody's boundaries. So so yeah. So let's talk about consent. All right. Put in Look at my notes. All right. Understanding and respecting consent and boundaries is really, really crucial in healthy relationships. It is really, really, really important for you to keep safe, for yourself as somebody who wants your personal boundaries respected, but also you, if you're a person that has a problem with being too intimate, too friendly, too aggressive. If you are one of those people, it also keeps you safe from being accused of being a predator, keeps you safe of being accused of going too far when you didn't mean to, or I was just playing. Everybody don't play like that, sir. Everybody um are not, how, can't read your mind. So we don't know what you're doing. And if you're going too far and we have a problem with it, you got to take that L, baby. You got to take that L. All right. So here are some things that I think will help people understand consent and understand boundaries, hopefully. And so we're going to talk about each one. All right. So, number one, consent is ongoing. What do I mean by that? All right. So, when when somebody says yes one time, it's not a that's not enough. A one-time agreement is not enough. It has to be continuous. All right? It has to be continuous. It's an ongoing process. It must be freely given. It must be enthusiastic. And it can be that yes, that consent can be withdrawn at any time. Let's make it clear. Okay. So I'm in a situation with you. I thought, based on our engagement, based on prior to me being in this situation with you, I thought that you were skilled. I thought that you were cool. Your vibe was good. You finessed me into getting in this situation with you, because prior to the situation actually occurring, you was good. You was like, oh, blah blah blah. But then when we get in the situation, because you're so excited, you get too damn aggressive. And I say yes, getting in the situation, but because you're so excited, you get too damn aggressive. And whatever you physically are doing to me is turning me off. And I don't like it. So, right in that moment, after I gave you a yes, I give you a no, because, oh, you're doing too much. You are kissing me wrong. You are touching me wrong. You're just engaging with my body in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable. It could be just because you're making me feel uncomfortable. You're not doing it right. You're not. You're doing something that triggers, and this is not about knowing exactly why, because you don't need to know why. No is no, period. And simple. And you don't need to know why. You don't need to read my mind. If I say no or I give you some non-verbal cues that I may not say no, but I might push you off of me. I might be like scrunch up my face. Might not say no because no is tons of ways to indicate that don't sound like no, that is not a verbal. It's like get off of me. Wait. Mm, 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 mm. Tensing up, whatever it looks like that I'm not having a pleasurable, enthusiastic time. This is not about you reading somebody's mind. This is about you looking and observing to make sure that this is a pleasurable experience for the other person that you are trying to engage with. That's first of all. That's not first of all. That's another element too. You should be wanting this person to have pleasure as well. So you should be paying attention to how they are physically reacting to you. So if you're not paying attention and you're just going in for the gusto, just worried about you, you're doing it wrong anyway on all levels, even outside of say this girl wants to do it, but you're doing it wrong if you're not focusing on her pleasure as well. Fool. So if you are paying attention, hey Ty, if you are paying attention to the body language and you're paying attention to what's going on, now if she's moaning in a pleasurable way and she's like, oh yes, I like this. Oh, this feels good, daddy. This feels good, baby. Oh, I like this. Then you know that's enthusiasm. Then you know what you are doing is wonderful. And you're getting the ongoing continuous consent that you want, that she wants, that is conducive to a healthy physical engagement. But if you see that tensing up, if you see that grimace in the face, if you see those things and it's like, oh, I may not be comfortable in this situation, or I may not be comfortable in this right spot. Maybe we're hooking up in the car and this spot is wrong. Ask, you okay? Are you comfortable? And you can ask in a sexy way. It don't need to be, oh, I want to make sure that I have your enthusiastic consent, even though that's okay for you to do. But I know that may not be always the sexiest way to deliver, but you can deliver it in a sexy way. Baby, you doing okay? Does it feel good to you? You want me to keep going? You can do it in a sexy way. It doesn't need to kill the vibe, but you need to do it. You need to ask, hey, you like this? You want me to do it another way? Are you comfortable? Do you like how you're laying? You want to move somewhere else? Be conscious of what's happening so that so that you are getting that continuous consent, continuous ongoing consent. And we already talk about no means no. And so that is such a classic statement about when we're talking about rape culture, when we're talking about consent, when we're talking about permission and those kind of things. No means no, absolutely. But just no is not the only thing. If somebody says no or indicates that they're not comfortable, it is essential to respect those boundaries and stop any further advancement or action. Just stop full out. Just stop. Period. Um, and so we get into these weird um conversations. Well, I've been in situations where no meant they wanted me to go further. And so this is where we get in the conversation of everybody in the situation need to communicate. Everybody, you still need to communicate. Everybody, if you want it to be no, be very, very clear that this is no. I want to stop right now. And another element about getting a consensual no is you can't get you can't get if somebody is too drunk to give you a yes, Leave that alone, baby. Leave that alone. Because that's when it can get you in trouble. You can get in gray areas. I remember the situation with Nate Parker. That was like, sweetie, you if anybody doesn't know the Nate Parker situation, Nate Parker was engaging with somebody who was a fuck buddy of his that they had been dealing with each other already, and she came over to hook up with him, and having consensual sex with him was great and wonderful. She wanted to, so she had got drunk and she was coming over to have consensual sex with him because they had already hooked up and she wanted it. Da 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 da. Da. So it was all good. But instead of him leaving at that, he allows his roommate to come in and have sex with her. And so it leads into this whole big old thing where she's like, yeah, I gave you consent, but not this other person that you brought into while I was intoxicated. You see how that situation can be really, really weird? Because yes, I gave you consent, but I didn't give everybody consent. I gave you consent. Got it? So when it comes to those kind of things, when you got people, it's too much, when somebody's too drunk, let that go. Get the pussy another time. Get the booty another time. Whatever, whoever you dealing with, whatever they got, get them another time. So, and when we're talking about consensual, non-consensual play. Yes, if you're doing that kind of role play stuff, that is already established with somebody that you are comfortable with. This is not some random person that you don't know. Those things are that kind of play, that kind of role play where, I may be having a very rapey fetish role play situation. I'm not into that, but I don't yuck nobody's yum. If that's your thing, that is a thing that you do with somebody that you already know, that you already is engaged with, and y'all have clear communications about how to convey that. Oh, I really want this to stop. This is not just about the role play. Y'all have that kind of communication. BDSM people really, really are very clear about those kinds of engagements, and there's tons of rules within that community that deals with the safety of you know each other. And so research that part of it, but just doing that with random people, that can get you excuse me, that can get you in trouble. But no means no, and there's multiple non-verbal ways that you can sense that a no is happening. And that goes back to what I was talking about, paying attention to the physical reaction to what you're doing. Somebody is moving away, that is a clear no. When we talking about the Sukiana and YK situation, it is a clear no. I'm moving away from you, boy. If I'm pushing you back and moving away, it's a no. Don't keep going. Okay, let's talk about a little deeper into what is a yes and what is a no. Okay, silence does not imply consent. Silence or lack of resistance does not equal consent. Always, and this is what I'm talking about, keeping yourself safe. Always seek verbal or enthusiastic consent before engaging in any sexual activity or intimate activity. Crossing somebody's boundaries, especially their physical boundaries, not just them, but especially their physical boundaries. Like, hey, can I touch you? Even in a non-sexual situation, there's a lot of times when I don't want to be hugged. I'm a hugger, but I like to be hugged by people in certain situations. And it's not necessarily people that I know. Like if I'm in a situation where it is a friendly situation, I don't like to shake hands. But everybody doesn't hug, so I have to say, "Ooh, can I hug?" And I may do my hands like this to ask. I mean, not say, "Ooh, can I hug you?" I might do like this. Is can I go in for the hug? And if you say no, I'm like, "Okay, cool." But if you say yes, then great. We hug and move with da 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 da. Those are the type of situations that I'm in. But in every circumstances, no, I'm not gonna. I don't want everybody to be hugging me. That's not what I want to be on. That's not what I want to be in. I don't really do. I don't like that. So when we talk about any type of physical activity, me not giving, me not saying anything, I'm this is my thing of if somebody is not doing anything and you're touching them, that gets weird. Are you turned on by that? And they're not giving you any kind of reaction or response to what you're doing. Are you turned? I'm not turned on by that. I want you to give me, and it don't need to be, oh yes, baby, yes. It don't need to be that. That's cool. But you need to give me something. You feel what I'm saying? You need to give me something, some kind of response. I hate dealing with silent people. Um, you need to say something. But also, this just like you need to, if you're a man, you need to hear, or whoever you're dealing with. If you need to hear, yes, or you need to see the vibe, a vibe of yes, enthusiasm. Something of I am in this and I'm just sitting there laying there silent. No. But also the person who's sitting there laying there silent, you need to say something too, sweetie. You need to say something. Ooh, I like what you're doing. Keep going. Then go back to silent. Mm, yes, that. Let it be very, very clear. And I think this is in your earlier hookups and dealing with people in the beginning. I think over time, when you hook up with people and y'all know and are familiar with each other, then some of these rules, now you be careful, you communicate these kind of lacks in some of these rules can be you can let up on some of these rules when you've already been dealing with somebody. You can let up on some of these rules, but make sure you're communicating when it's time to let up. Make sure y'all very clear. It's all about communication. Right. All right. Let's talk about, and I think this is all the time, but especially when it comes to the legalities. And I think you really got to pay attention to this um when you just in unknown situations where you don't really know this person that well. We are in hookup culture. I hook up with people. People have one night stands. This is, it's a part of life. You may not do this. You may sin. You may need a background check. You may need a STD check. You may need to know their mama. You may need to know what hood they from. You may need to know their blood type. You may need to know all this shit that determines whether or not you hook up with somebody. But somebody like me, I might not need to know all of that. I might just need to find and know that that dick is big and I want to have it right here in the alley behind this dumpster. That might be just me, but we not gonna yuck each other's yum. we gonna I do me how I do me, and you do you how you do you. You feel what I'm saying? And so in these early situations, you have to we have to make sure we are very clear about let me switch my internet so I can make sure that I'm seeing some issue. I have two different internet connections, a slow one and a fast one. I switch to the fast one. Sorry. Um, So, I might be somebody who I don't need to know all of that. And so I hook up with people. And somebody like that, like me, I need to make sure in these early parts of our relationship that those kind of boundaries and consent getting situations and tactics are really at the forefront of my hookup. I'm very clear about what I like. This is what I want to do. Blah 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 blah. So there are certain consent situations, all right, that are not valid under certain conditions. So, for example, and I know this may be tough for you to grasp, but this is just a situation that you got to be careful with. Consent cannot be given if a person is under the influence of drug or alcohol, asleep, unconscious, or unable to give clear and coherent consent. So if you with um Marianne and she's drunk and staggering, oh yeah, baby, I want you to fuck me. I would be careful. I would be careful. Oh, oh yeah. She staggered in the elevator as y'all go up to the hotel room. Oh, baby, I want you to stick that big BBC in my hole. And she all drunk, and I would be careful. That's when it's like, mm, I am. Now if it's somebody now, this is your wife. This is somebody you have a long-standing relationship with. That this is the type of stuff y'all do and been doing. This might be something different. This might be some different situation. But in these early hookups with somebody that you just randomly hooking up with, or in them early stages of y'all hookup, I do personally think the rules change as you get older. I don't mind laying in the bed and my husband waking me up to some head. That we know each other. He know I live for that. You get what I'm saying? I think the rules shift. This does not imply, I don't want this to imply that a wife can't be raped or a husband can't be violated. I don't want to imply that because we know, we learn, and what love got to do with it. That how those situations can play out. Um yes. And so we know how abuse works in relationships, but usually when you're in a healthy long-term relationship with your husband, with your partner, and wife, y'all already have established what each other like, so there's certain ways, certain rules that may not apply in a long-term relationship, but this really is specifically for the earlier stages of you establishing, that could be a one time, not one night stand, or them early hookups when you dealing with somebody with just a few times. And remember, so if they are drunk, don't. Me personally, I don't like you to be too drunk. I don't mind you being drunk. Dick is real hard and don't come fast all the time. So it's kind of love a little bit. But I don't want you to be drunk to the sense where you falling out and passing out. That gets weird. But if you still talking to me and we still engaging, I feel like that's cute. But just to be safe, try to hook up with and get consent without drugs and alcohol being involved. And if you only can get sexual, and this may be, I don't know, this may be crossing boundaries. I'm not nobody therapist, but if you can only have sex drunk and high, you might want to go get some therapy. If that's the only way you can let your inhibitions down, you might want to get some therapy. You need to figure that out. You shouldn't have to be drunk and high every single time you have sex. Come on, that's Hennessy dick. Coke dick don't work. Coke dick don't work. It's limp and little. Alcohol dick be rock hard. Well, I don't know the other drugs. I don't know what meth dick do. I don't know the other drugs. X dick sometimes it's sometimes. Sometimes it won't get hard. Sometimes it will. Sometimes it lasts long. Sometimes it don't. Anyway. Okay, we already talked about this, but just to reiterate, nonverbal cues matter. Pay attention to nonverbal cues like body language, facial expressions, the tone of voice. If someone appears uncomfortable, hesitant, or uncertain, it is important to check in and clarify their boundaries. That check in, that's a key piece. Check in. That's what we was talking about earlier. Check in. Hey, is this all right? Am I doing this right? You want me to do it another way? Does this feel good? Are you comfortable? You want to move to another spot? Are you cold? I might be liking what you're doing, but ooh, you got this house cold as hell. So my tension up, maybe because nigga, cut that air down. You getting my genitals all wet and it's making me even colder. Hmm. It is okay to ask. Like, don't think that it is not okay to ask. Period. Communication is the key. It is better to ask for consent explicitly rather than assuming, because we know the saying, assuming make an ass out of you and me. Make sure that both of us are comfortable and enthusiastic about the activity. And consent applies to, this is a good one. Consent applies to all activity. All, all. We're talking about anal. If you the type of dude that's in the vagina and try to sneak and put the thing in the booty hole, bruh, ask for consent. Ask, ooh, baby, can I put it in your ass? Get consent. You ain't slick. If you gotta take a girl head and push it down to your piece to get her to give you some head, baby, no. Is it clean? Like, what are you doing to entice her to do that? Does it smell like something? Have you pulled that skin back and wiped around? Get rid of that smegma. Have you done those things? Have you hit that? Have you hit them balls with a towel and some soap and rag? Everybody, everybody ain't into the musty smell. There's some people that are into that kind of fresh from the gym smell. I am not, but there are some people that are into that. They may not be into that. And so, have you done the things that make that area of your body enticing? Have you manscaped it? Because sometimes now everybody ain't me, but I'm somebody, I don't like a bunch of hair. You don't need to be bald, but I need it to be, if it just looked like a overgrown afro down there, I don't like it. So I need it to be trimmed down. I need it to be, if I'm, ugh, I don't like all that. That's gonna turn me off. That's not gonna make me want to do it. So if you want it to be done, these are questions that you can ask. I wouldn't ask this like on a first date unless the vibe is going that way. But in the beginning of y'all deciding to hook up, like ask these kind of questions. So, what do you like? in regards to body type, body, what you like it to be shaved, you like it to be bald. Y'all don't got no problem with telling a girl, oh, like I like the coochie to be bald, or I like the coochie to be, have some hair on it. Y'all ain't got no problem with telling y'all T. Y'all need to ask what the woman likes. Ask, say, hey, how you like it down there? You know what I'm saying? And that opens up, especially if y'all have gotten to that conversation where y'all talking about sex and talking about what y'all like. Ask the questions. Do not be afraid to ask. Do not be afraid to ask. And so putting also there, everybody has different things they're like. I hate guys who say that I'm into everything when I ask what they're into. No, you're not exactly. Because if I take this dildo and put it in your butt, this 10-inch dildo and put it in your butt, you're gonna be like, oh, whoa, 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 you're going too far. Right. Um, So it's all right to ask. And if you want certain things, there's a way that you can prepare to do it. But going back, every single thing, and everybody is not into everything that you want to be into. So if you're asking these questions and getting it clear in advance, then when you get in the situation, you know what's up. Nah, I'm not really, I done tried anal and I didn't like it. So don't try to get back there and get to putting the thing in my boo hole. Now, all I got is a boo hole. So I'm gonna be down. But I'm talking about, other situations that you may not like. Also, how you touch somebody. I remember my friend told me, I had a homegirl who there's a certain way that her boyfriend would play with her cooter cat. And it reminded her of when she was molested when she was younger, and she didn't like it. So in the scenario, he would do these things and it would tense her up like, oh, no, 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 I don't want you to do it like that. A certain way that he did it. And so she had to tell him, I don't want you to do it like that. I don't like that. And that's what I'm talking about. You have to ask questions. Do you like it this way? Do you, because they may not like they may like you, but they don't like what you're doing in the moment. And that's why you ask to make sure that it's clear. Um, Also, and it doesn't matter about, and we're talking about in the context of sex, but we're also talking about like what sparked this conversation, those kind of playful interactions. I don't want you to kiss. I don't want everybody playfully kissing me. No, that is not what everybody wants. And you know that. We know common sense that everybody do not want everybody kissing them on the mouth or kissing them in the face. Everybody doesn't want that. And so this is another conversation that sparked because of who Suki is. Now, Suki, if you know who Sukiana is, she is known for being hypersexual. She is known for talking about how her name is Suki with the good coochie. She's known for these kind of sexualizing herself and what you can do as a grown woman, sexualizing herself and these sexual monikers. And she got OnlyFans, she got music videos with pussies and ass out, ass shaking. She always, her image is a hyper sexual image. That's her choice. What she wants to put out there, what she wants to do with her body. It is not an invitation. It is not consent. I could be walking down the street butt naked. That does not mean that you get to touch me. I don't care what you expect me to know. You know what's going to happen. You're walking down the street in no clothes. You walking down the street with them tight clothes on. You walking around with no bra on. You walking around like that. You know how men think. I don't give a care how men think. I don't give a care how the world thinks. You don't get to touch me until I say you can touch me. Period. Full stop. There's no question. there's no. I don't care what you done seen. I don't care if you see me. I got a dang dang in my cooter. I got a dang dang in my butt. I got a dang dang on this hand and a dang dang on this hand and two in my mouth. And I'm like this. If you come over with your dang dang and I say no, it's no. Yours isn't the one that I want in this scenario. It may make you feel bad. You may wonder why, not me. I know it hurts your ego when a hoe got boundaries. I know it makes you feel bad, like, dang, you a hoe for everybody else, but not me. Yeah, sorry, baby, you ain't the one. I know it may hurt your ego and hurt your pride, but it's a no. It's a chop, sir. It's a no. I don't care if I have a dang dang in all my orifices and a couple of them waiting in line to replace the ones once I make them come. It's a no for you, it's a no for you, buddy. Sorry, it's a no. So the implication is because she's a sexual being, a hypersexualized being, and that's the image that she gives off, that you get to cross her boundaries. And that's just not true. Or she's open for that kind of disrespect or open to all. Being sexually promiscuous or sexually open does not mean I'm open to all. I might have I might be on the bus stop and see this fine ass homeless man that's fine as hell. He just got homeless. And honey, I want to take him back to my house and bone him. That don't mean I want to bone you. And he may tell you, yeah, she a hoe. I met her on the bus stop and she took me home and fucked me down. Put me in the bathtub though, but she fucked me down. Yeah, she a hoe. Yeah. He might have that perspective because I was a hoe with him because I wanted him. But you, buddy, no. And like I said, that might make you feel some kind of way. But you gotta eat, you gotta swallow that, bud. You gotta swallow that. I've seen a whole lot of situations. I remember in high school that one of the girls was quite promiscuous and she was having fun, and the guy really did not understand why she was not interested in him, and she had done all this buck wild, whole freaky stuff because it's you, buddy. You are unattractive to her, but that doesn't mean that she owes you something. Make sure you thumbs up if you agree. All right. What else? Consent applies to all activity. Consent is required for all sexual activity, regardless of nature of level of intimacy involved. Right. So it doesn't mean we're not just talking about sex. We're talking about you touching me. I'm walking down the street and I got a short skirt on and you want to smack my ass? Nigga, no. Well, you know how I mean, I don't care. You don't get permission to touch me unless I give you permission to touch me. How I dress is not an invitation, an open invitation for you to touch me, rape me, um, whatever, any of those things, violate my body, violate my boundaries. How I dressed is not an invitation for you to do that. It's not okay. You should always ask, and I should always be able to say no. Oh no, baby, no, thank you. Damn, can I smack your ass? No. Or I turn around and see you and you looking like Boris Cujo. Sure, baby. Come on, smack it. That I might give you that energy. But if I say no, it's a no. And also, can we learn how to take rejection? Y'all out here shooting girls because they don't give y'all the numbers. Can we learn how to take rejection and it not be a blow to your ego? Sometimes no is just a no, and we move on to the next hoe. Bars. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes a no is just a no, and we just move on. You feel what I'm saying? All right, you feel me? I hope. Um, Ooh, this is a good one. So this goes to relationships, power dynamics, and consent. Follow me. Recognize that power imbalances exist in relationships and social situations. It is important to be aware of these dynamics and ensure that consent is freely given without coercion or pressure. Now, this is it's not that tricky. It's not that hard, but this is where we get in these funny, shaky situations. All right, you're my boss. I enjoy you as a boss. You have a fun personality. I have a fun personality. We out for dinner. That starts off as business, but then it goes on a little bit further, and it's just me and you there. And you decide to flirt and and give shoot your shot. You have to be aware of those power dynamics, baby. You are her boss. You are putting her in the situations where she like, oh, what is happening here? Now, on the flip side, it's okay for you to say no. And boss, it shouldn't be any consequences for her to say no. But you as the boss, that power dynamic is too much. Do not. I just feel like it's inappropriate for you to try to have your coworker. Sorry. I know that may be a norm. That some people, I don't feel the power dynamic when it's your boss. Now if it's your coworker in the sense y'all on the same level, that may be something, excuse me, that may be something different. But if you are somebody's boss, I think that boundary should not be crossed. It's given Bill and Monica Lewinsky. Absolutely. The power dynamic is really, really important to consider when you are trying to shoot your shot and get consent from somebody, because that can get you in a heap a lot of trouble with accusations and the law. And the power dynamic is different. Um hmm, how do I talk about this? Okay, it's kind of like in marriages. Marriages with financial imbalance and abuse. I really don't want to have sex with him, but he controls the money. He's abusive. I don't have nowhere else to go. Then you can get into that territory of rape, even though I'm married to this man, because the power dynamics is different. This is not a happy, loving marriage. This is a marriage that is full of abuse, and I don't really want to have sex, but he forces me because I don't have anywhere else to go. And this is where I'm at now. That gets in that kind of weird ass area that's still rape, but this is that power dynamic is weird. So make sure you're in those situations where you can get consent freely without coercion and pressure. Because if you're coercing somebody into, give you another example. If you are, this is where it gets real, like you predatory. Give you an example. So say that you got three homeboys, and so it's four of y'all, and you tell this girl come over to hang out. It's multiple people over here. Your homeboys got homegirls over there. Your homeboys got girls over there. So it's like girls and boys. Girls and boys, you know, and so you tell this girl, hey, come over. It's a bunch of people over here. Suzanne, Suzanne from this place. You're triggering memories of people, so people that she knows. Yeah, she went to da, 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 da. So you intentionally are making her feel safe to come over to this space that she thinks is going to be a hangout, chill spot with you and other people. But your plan when she gets over here that you have discussed with the homeboys is that they are going to leave and leave you alone with the girl that you invited over under the pretense that this was going to be a chill, cool situation. That shit is predatory. Any type of scheme, scam stuff that you're doing to get a woman in a situation where she's comfortable and then you flip it and it's just y'all by yourself or it's not what she planned, that is predatory. You are playing games that you should not be playing. That's rapey and predatory, baby. I want that to be very clear. You doing little weird shit to be alone and putting stuff in people's drinks. All of that is weird, rapey, Bill Cosby stuff. And wrong. I was in that situation, financial abuse and coercion. Like Ronnie did Ebony on the Players Club. Exactly like Ronnie did Ebony on the Players Club. Women who do it, it's women who do this stuff. All of this stuff is predatory and unsafe. If you have friends that's leaving you with men alone intentionally so you can be by yourself with them, rapey, inappropriate accessories to rape, all that kind of stuff. Wrong, 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 wrong. Bad, 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 bad. We know what this looks like. Financial abuse and coercion. I was in this situation. This is something that's very, very common between older. Do I want to say this? This is I don't know. I'm just gonna say it because I've seen it in the culture. So this I don't have no statistics about this, but I see it many, many times throughout my life, and I'm 42. So I'm gonna talk about what I see. I see this situation in many older gay male and younger gay male situations where the younger gay male, sometimes a teen, sometimes an early 20, they don't have family support because they're gay, they've been kicked out, they don't have family support because of their situation, and so they're forced to live on the couch of the ball house father, or the older gay man um that they met at the club, and so they don't have nowhere to go, so they're couch surfing, and then it's all good at first, but then he come with the ultimatum. Well, if you gotta live here, you gotta give up something. And so you're in a situation where I ain't got nowhere to go, and I'm forcing this. Now this dude is kind of forcing me in this situation where I got to decide to either be homeless or give up some butt. And I ain't even a bottom, or I ain't even a top, or whatever he's trying to get me to do, or I ain't even attracted to him, and I'm forced to make the decision to do these things, and I don't want to do them. Rapey, predatory, predatory. Even though I'm giving you a yes to be forced, a yes because I don't have no other options to go to. You're getting a yes, but this is not a consensual yes. This is not a enthusiastic yes. This is a forced, coerced yes. Pressured yes. I've never been in the scene. I've heard a lot of chicken hawks in the gay community, especially older white gay men and younger gay men of color. Under duress, yes. And I don't want to, I'm only said that because Andre said so. These are dynamics that are in straight situations. I just brought up the gay community because to make it very clear that this is not just a rape culture is just not a straight man and woman situation. It happens within our culture too. So I want that to be clear. So it's not just them. It is us too, And just because we are sexually free and a different sexual orientation does not mean that we are exempt from rape culture, because it is. And if I'm to be honest, I think because look, I feel like, let me, as a matter of fact, I don't want to misquote what I said. I talked about this in recent times. Ooh, talked about this in recent times. So I'm going to talk about this again. I'm going to bring it up here. When your sexuality, this is a quote from myself. I just had to go back to it. When your sexuality develops in secret and shame, your fetish becomes secret and shame. Let me say that again. When your sexuality develops in secrecy and shame, your fetish becomes secrecy and shame. And so, what I mean by that is when because of the culture of homophobia and toxic masculinity, sometimes our community as queer people, our sexual development happens in shame and secrecy and behind closed doors, and so that becomes something that it turns us on. That secrecy and taboo and weird, inappropriate stuff can turn us on, and we don't like to talk about this because we're always attacked as being seen as predators by the homophobes and heterosexuals. Yeah, they da da da. But we also have to talk about the toxicity in our community. And I'm here to do it because I love our community. And I'm not doing it because I am because I from a homophobic hate you kind of space. I'm doing it because this is what I have experienced, and I know how in what I see in our culture. There is a ugly dark side and a beautiful happy side. Yes, both exist. Just like with heterosexuals, just like with anybody else. Men, women, blah 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 blah. It's great people and it's horrible people. So I'm saying this because what I mean, what I have seen is that when that kind of when your sexuality is not able to be free and open and just out, and I'm free and doing me, it can turn into Bosco. That was his name in my city, riding down the street, grown ass old ass man riding down the street, picking up 16, 17-year olds, paying for Jordans to get them to come fuck him in his apartment. These are real stories in my life. This is not something, I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking about what I know. Because he too is ashamed and hiding his sexuality. He too probably has been harmed and don't understand boundaries and think that, oh, if I give you something, if I give you these Jordans, I buy you some weed, I have all the video games that you can play in my house. You can come over here and have fun. And you say yes. I'm not forcing you. I'm not holding you down, but 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 I know you're a poor little boy and your mama's a dope fiend and you ain't got no money and you running around looking dusty and dirty and you would love to go to school, junior high school in these fresh Jordans. I know you would love that. So I'm using the access to these things to coerce you, to pressure you into this. That's toxic. That's gross. That's predatory. That power play soothes the shame of a little bit. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm doing, I'm just, I'm doing something for them. So you're not thinking, and they're telling, I'm not holding them down. I'm not forcing nobody to do nothing, but you are. But you are, baby. It's predatory, it's toxic, and it's gross. Not just because these are minors, but even if you're doing it in other scenarios, it's predatory and it's gross. Got it? Power dynamics and consent. Like it's very, very important. There was a scene in Paris is Burning with one of the prominent house mothers that was very suspect. It was deleted scene. We know that it gets real witchy and weird, and we need to be calling it out. And I think because I've said this before, I've said it. I think because we're always being attacked under this false predatory gaze in regards to the heterosexual people being homophobic, sometimes it's hard for us to call out when we see something in our community that no, bitch, that's gross, that's toxic, you being weird. There was a girl recently, a trans girl recently, who was actually an activist in New York, who was messaging this boy who told her she was 14. He told her that he was 14. And honey, the police busted her because I guess I can't remember exactly what's going on, but the person was pretending to be a 14-year-old person. And they called her out and shared it with the police and went out and she's a popular person. I can't remember her name. Is it Leilani? Leomi, not Leomi. Leomi is the vulgar. Leilani, I can't remember her name, but yeah, it was in New York. But I had met this girl. I had met her. She had come to BTAC a few times, and I'm watching. I'm like, what? I'm like, yes, you are gross. Yes, I'm a prison abolitionist type bitch, but I'm very, honey. Until we figure out, until we abolish prison, lock them up and throw away the key. You know better. And this is something about our community that I also find annoying. Sweetie, like her, there's no excuse. We are too attacked about predatory stuff that you know better. This is no, you know what this looks like. We are too much in the streets. We know how predators work because we are vulnerable because of who we are and how we got to survive. We know how predators move in this world, and we can feel it, we can see it because they have, especially if you transition when you were young, because they have tried you. I remember when I was 6, and this wasn't an adult, this was a teenage boy. I had a friend, 6, 7, 8, around those years. I had a friend. Oh, I talked about him. Me and him got caught humping in the closet. Marcus. Marcus had a brother, and I felt it in my spirit that I did not need to be alone with Marcus's brother. I could feel it that he would have tried something with me. I could feel it. I know what predators feel like. I know how they engage with you. And I say this a lot of times too. You got to be careful with your children, especially if you got queer children, because you being nasty to them about their femininity, their queerness, their masculinity, if they're assigned female at birth, you being nasty to them could force them in a situation where they can't tell you anything about how people are doing to them and trying them. Because now, if I tell you this motherfucker's trying to do this shit, and it's always heterosexually identified people. When I was younger, it was motherfuckers who was identified as heterosexual that was trying to do weird witchy shit. That I would see doing weird predatory shit. It wasn't anybody who openly identified with being gay and never had any kind of situation where they tried to do something with me. Never. It was always some man or older man or some woman, straight woman, straight man who everybody assumed was straight that was trying to do something. That we trying to sneak me in the room. Nobody ever did, but the ones that would try, it was always them. Openly gay people, never. Never. Openly gay people, never, ever, 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 ever had I had any negative experience with them when I was a kid. But I had a good relationship with my mom, so I could tell her what's going on. But it could easily be if you are the homophobic type to make them feel shamed about their femininity, they could easily turn that inward and not tell you about what's going on, thinking that they did something wrong, which leads them right into the predator's hands. So anyway, so pay attention to power dynamics and consent. Recognize the power imbalances that you may have in your life, whether it be financial power, whether it be social power, whether it be whatever it is. You have to be careful in regards to those situations. Or worse, that they deserve it. Right. Or they feel that they deserve it. Yes, absolutely. You're totally right. Number 9, respect boundaries outside of sexual context. Come on. Consent and boundaries extend beyond sexual activities. Respect personal space, emotional boundaries, and individual preferences in all interactions. Give me an example of where somebody has not respected your emotional boundaries. Anybody want to share? Where somebody has not respected your emotional boundaries. One example that I would give, if I am vulnerable with you as a friend and tell you something about me that is vulnerable, that is private, that I trusted you with, and you tell somebody else about that, I think that is crossing an emotional boundary. As example for me. Well, what about y'all? What are some examples where somebody um didn't respect an emotional boundary? Your video on white women made me think about how they usually trauma dump on me unprovoked, which feels like a violation. Yes, absolutely. You are totally right. I have been in situations where people dumped all of this, excuse me, have dumped all of this stuff on me, and I'm like, ooh, this is not my space. I'm not your therapist. I don't need you to vent with me right now. I don't have the capacity for this. I don't have the capacity to help you with this situation. I'm sorry. I am in a whole different vibe right now. And you are dumping this on me and I can't do it. You're right. I was a teenager when I was told by my grandma my mom's boyfriend assaulted me. I didn't want her to tell my father, and she went behind my back and did this. I felt betrayed. Very, ooh, that's a complicated situation. Oh gosh, yes. I'm sorry that happened to you. Um, Asking for intricate details of how my father died, his illness, and who was around him when he died. Mind you, all these questions happen hours after he passed. That is a great example. People who are don't respect your grieving boundaries. If you're vulnerable with them and tell them insecurity of yours and they make a joke about it later. Oh, absolutely, Brittany, you are totally right. If I tell you something serious and then you're joking about it, ooh, you ain't got to worry about me talking about the shit about you no more. You ain't got to worry about it, baby. Don't worry about it. Definitely right. Um, I have seen this happen firsthand and it's disgusting. Sorry you experienced that. Hmm. I would be hypocritical if I didn't mention this. Um, I am also a person who, and this may be wrong, but you know, y'all can call me out if I'm wrong. I feel like things that I'm sensitive about, I don't put it on the internet because I feel like if I put it on the internet, I am opening up. I'm opening myself up to other people in my internet community's opinion. And so, yeah. And so sometimes this is what I see. Not saying this is right or wrong, but sometimes I see people announcing somebody's death and then they want us to donate. They want us to here's the GoFundMe and blah, 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 blah. And me, if I'm giving my coins, I might want to know some details before because what's going on here? Or or say that they didn't die, they made another situation. They went into you're fundraising to get them out of jail. What did they go to jail for? I need to know what they go to jail for. If I'm donating to get them out of jail, what they go to jail for? Did they molest some kids? Did they rape somebody? Did they beat up their girlfriend? Because I don't want to give my coins to that. So sometimes I ask a question for that reason, and that may be not respecting privacy and boundaries, but I need to know. I'll just opt out. So I don't know if that's relevant, but sometimes I be wanting to know if you're making it public. I be wanting to know. I'm nosy. I don't know. So that may be wrong, but yeah, I don't ask people. I'm trying to think of when I hear somebody pass away. I don't really ask people like how they passed away unless it's my personal friend. Like if Ty tells me somebody passed away, I won't do it publicly, but I'll slide in Ty's DM and say, "Hey, what happened with such and such?" And we're talking privately about what happened. I'm not gonna do it on your status. I'm not gonna do it on a public avenue. Um, but I might ask my friend, "What's the tea, girl? What happened?" Ooh, what? It might be that privately. I completely understand that. You can see the people trying to find out something and don't genuinely care. Yes. Mm, yes. Yeah, but I totally understand that can be a violation. I totally understand how that can be. I differ on that. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think different make you a bad person. I'm never gonna say differing. What do you mean you differ on what? I don't think that makes you a bad person having a different opinion about a situation. But yes, those are emotional violations. Um, like if I share my opinion on a public setting. You gotta give me more details. I don't think that there's a problem with sharing your opinion on a public setting, but I think you run the risk of violating somebody's space. I don't think it being I I rather it be private if I have an opinion that I think my especially when we're talking about death, like a death situation. I think that is a very sensitive situation where somebody is grieving. So that takes a little bit more care than if I'm just telling you, oh, me and my boyfriend broke up, and then I share my opinion about you and your boyfriend breakup on the public. I think that may be different than you share, oh, my father died this morning. Oh, I didn't really like your dad. I don't feel like that was really in a inappropriate time to share your opinion publicly. I think the circumstances is different. When oh my God, I moved into a new apartment. No, it's not y'all business, but I'm telling y'all. And then I think there's a difference between somebody passing away and then just some general overshare internet situation. Um, an example of I tried to look up examples of emotional violations. Examples of emotional violation is dismissing and criticizing feelings. I think somebody talked about that when the joke. Somebody brought that up. Who was that? Who said that? Brittany. Brittany said that where somebody is joking. You tell somebody something serious and vulnerable, and then they either joke about it, but also them dismissing it or criticizing it in a way to dismiss it in that kind of way. Um, any kind of asking questions that are not appropriate for our relationship. Um, yeah, I think that that can get kind of weird. Mm. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, D. Dot Fresh. Um, hey, Fight. I hate when people tell me the truth later. Don't have me all up here looking a fool and then try to tell me later. No, bitch, tell me then so I can get myself together. I like that as well. I don't know if you follow certain Twitter mess, but I've seen fallout over guys who hook up and agree to film with consent creators and then revoke the permission to post the video after. It's ongoing. But also, I think there's a way to get around that. Um, you need to sign release forms. Like if you're a content creator, you need to sign release forms. And once you get the release form, that protects yourself on a legal standpoint. But let's go on a personal interaction standpoint. Um, you got to have contracts, but also me on a personal level. Say that I do an interview with somebody, and I've been in this situation. I do an interview with, it's not on the sexual side, but it's on, just social media content side. I've done an interview with somebody, and me and that person got into it years later. Um, and they asked me to take their interview down. I got consent to do it, and I done posted up. But just because I took it down, just because, child, I don't really care. So take it down. I don't need you on my platform anyway. I don't need you. I don't need you getting any kind of shine off of my platform anyway. Once we done got into it, you feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't. If you tell me to take you down or you don't want me on it, you're gonna make tons of more content. If you're a good content creator, you're gonna take more. I don't need you on there anyway. Especially if they tell me to take them down after they don't already been on there for a while. Cool, I'll take your ass down. I ain't gonna re-interview your motherfucking ass. I'll take it down. I got into it with this Native American girl a while ago. And I had to read her. And so I took her down. And it was okay. I could have kept it up, but I just don't want to be that person. You want me to take it down, bitch? Go on. Deuces, take it down. Um, I didn't know what consent was until I was in my late 20s. I wish I had been raised with the concept. I was always made to feel I owe people sex. I should be grateful for any attention I got. Oh, that is deep fight. You are totally being vulnerable right now. And thank you. Um, this is why sex education is needed in school. It is not just about pregnancy and disease. Consent should be taught as well. Absolutely. Um, the hard reality was that my parents raised me to fear people who had power and thought that saying no was seen as disrespect. Ooh, that is toxic black culture. I don't want to say it's in no other culture, but I'm black, so I'm talking about my own culture. That is toxic black culture, baby. For you to say no and it being seen as disrespectful, toxic black culture. You are totally right. That is something. Luckily, in my household, I didn't have to worry about that. I was free with my mother to say what I wanted to. Um, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not just black culture, but I'm black, so I'm talking. Anytime I'm centering blackness, I'm centering womanhood, I'm centering transness. I'm going to center those things because that is a part of my identity. But if you relate and see it in your culture too, great. But I'm never gonna apologize for centering my people. So if you hear me say something um, that is you see in reflected in your culture, it's okay too. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in other cultures, unless I'm very specifically saying that. But yes, I see in my family, I've seen that a lot, especially the church older people. Baby, you couldn't say no to them. And another element, my mother was very adamant about not letting, because of that fear you described, fight. Um, because of that fear, my mother didn't let people whoop me other than her. There are very few people who had permission to whoop me because of that fear. Because my mother said she did not want anybody to um, have fear over me, to be able to tell me when somebody did something. And especially if you have it goes back to what I was talking about queer kid, but because it's not just queer, it kind of that kind of fear of somebody owing you or being grateful for that kind of attention, that any type of somebody, you could have that kind of complex if you are a dark skinned person. You can have that kind of complex if you are a fat person, if you are somebody who doesn't have the physical capita that comes with being attractive. Anybody can be in that situation where um I am forcing myself on you, and I think I owe you this because I'm date. You know what I'm saying? If this person is dating me, and I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm too dark, I'm too gay, I'm too I'm too feminine, I'm too masculine. All these, y'all know what I'm talking about. All those things that you can be demonized for in our culture. And if somebody is dating us, they can emotionally manipulate us into thinking that we owe them, especially if and this is me as a trans person, um, that we owe them a certain level of access to our bodies just because, or we should accept any old little disrespect that they bring us. A lot of trade love to do that. Who else is gonna be with you? Who else is they get into their mister? You're black, you're ugly. Who else is gonna want you? They'll play that kind of emotional with you. And sometimes our parents, our upbringing lends us to that mindset. If there is toxic fat phobia, toxic homophobia within our upbringing, it literally hands us off emotionally, vulnerable to these type of people who can use that in their favor to coerce us into harmful, emotionally toxic relationships with them, where we don't have any respect for our body, where we don't have any respect for boundaries. And as an adult, and um, hopefully, you learn when to when some people don't learn that stuff till years later, but hopefully, you're black, you're poor, you're a woman. Yes. Um, hopefully you're learning that, and what we want to try to do is instill that in our children, in our youth. And I don't think that just comes from parents. I think that comes from people in community. Those kind of messaging, whether positive or negative, I think it comes from the people around you. Your parents aren't the only ones. We know the classic, it takes a village. Your parents are not the only ones that you get messages from. You get messages from your aunts, you get messages from your peers, you get messages from your teachers. Um, yeah. All right, let me see what else I got. Did I have any more? Oh, another emotional violation of boundaries is reading or going through somebody's personal or emotional information. So, going through your children's diaries, that is a boundary cross that is toxic. I know some parents is like, oh, if they in my house, and if they in my house, ain't no locked doors, ain't no diaries I'm not gonna read. Those are crossing boundaries. I seen somebody on Twitter talking about that. She was just so proud that she violated her daughter's trust and read her daughter's diary. So proud of that. I was like, why would you be proud of that? First of all, you should be building relationship with your daughter where they are talking about things open with you. There are certain things I felt open to talking with my mama, but there's certain things I just didn't want to talk to my mother about. I don't want to talk about that to you. So you reading my diary is toxic. It crossing my boundary. Right. My mama was good for reading my diary and I stopped writing in it. Right. So now you ain't got a way to get it out and work it through. It's toxic. It crosses a boundary and not okay. So I say that to say respecting boundaries and consent is not just sexual situations too. It's actual non-sexual situations as well. It goes beyond sexual activities. And last, um, I think and this goes to my last point that I wrote in my notes. This goes to what I was talking about as far as it takes a village to teach your children and the youth and the people around you. You have to teach and model consent. Men have an important role. We, not just men, but my in the vibe that I was writing this, I was talking about men because it was sparked based on the Suki and YK situation. Men have an important role in promoting a culture of consent. Educate yourself and others about consent and boundaries. Actively change harmful behaviors and attitudes that undermines them. And a lot of times I hear when we are trying to teach y'all about consent, if we are trying to teach y'all about how this is going too far, you start giving us all these kind of excuses. We are trying to teach you how to be in healthy relationship with us. Take it in. Instead of trying to find nuances and da 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 da, take it in. Okay, they are telling me that they don't like this type of engagement. Cool. I might find somebody that likes it. But what the general population of women is, they're like, oh, I don't really like this type of engagement. And no, we are not a monolith, but there are consensus. There's a lot of consensus when it comes to consent around all of us. Um, when dudes get to talking in the locker rooms, the locker room talks, the barbershop talks, don't let those excuses go by. It is your job to check them in those spaces as well. It can't just be us. You have to, you have to look. This is every community that I'm a part of. If you hear some toxic stuff going on, call it out. This is weird. You hear so, and this is just, and this is in general. We're talking about consent, but this is in general. Ain't no way I'm gonna be sitting there and I hear somebody say, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl," and I not call it out myself. I'm not gonna even let her do the labor of it. I'm gonna be like, "Bitch, what are you talking about? She's just pretty. You think she's pretty? It has nothing to do with her being dark skinned. She's just pretty. Just say that. She's not pretty for nothing. She's just pretty. Call that shit out." Some gay boy talking about, "Oh, I'm not that kind of gay. I'm not gay gay." What you mean by that? Nigga, you putting your dick in somebody's butt. That's gay as it can get. You putting your penis in somebody's mouth. That's gay gay. It ain't no gay and gay gay. No, it's gay. You having sex with the same sex, you gay. I don't care how masculine you are, how you can pretend to be cisgendered, how you cannot be read as a gay boy. I don't care. You still doing gay actions, you gay. You gay gay. Ain't no other kind of, ain't no special kind of gay. Just because they femme and flamboyant and some heels and some makeup, obviously they're another kind of gay. No. Their expression is different than yours. But you just as gay as them, bruh. I'm gonna call it out. That's toxic. Call that shit out. You see somebody being weird, I'm on Jack, and this boy tell you that he fucking 17, and you still trying to have him, bitch. You're gross. You're a predator. That's late. Call it out. Call it out. So, be active when it comes to challenging those kind of harmful behaviors and attitudes that undermines, the us trying to dismantle the rape culture. Um, and what time is it? It's 1:40. So I'll close out with this. Understand that consent is about mutual respect and care for each other's boundaries. Okay? It's about caring about the person that you are in community with. It is an ongoing process that requires open communication. Um, it's active listening. It's it is you showing your commitment. It's you showing your commitment to healthy to commitment and commitment to promoting healthy relationships that are rooted in being consensual and healthy relationship with community. Like that's what it's about. So I hope YK has apologized to Suki, but there's a girl who he worked with who is not famous that is kind of calling him out saying, I dealt with this with you as well. And because I wasn't famous, you blackballed me and ruined my career. But because Suki is famous, it gives her a level of protection. So you apologizing to her, but you did the same creepy, weird stuff to me. So now she's calling him out. So there's a whole, history of that. So, you know, we got to do better. And that is my TikTok. So yes, we got about 20 minutes. So what y'all want to talk about? I was catfished by a male friend of mine's wife that I didn't know he had. She was having a conversation with me, pretending to be him. I felt so violated, especially after sending my pics. Ooh. Ooh. Tough situation. To be honest, I didn't know who YK was until this happened. I still don't know who YK is. I heard that name before, but I I'm at the age where there are going to be some names that come up that I'm just out of that young people's culture, and I don't know it. And so, yeah, I just don't know the culture. I know y'all see like Shade Room or um, TMZ, they'll post a couple or they'll post some news about somebody. I'll be like, I don't know none of these people. So let me mind my old lady business. Because I don't know none of these young people. So, all right. So, all right. If you learn something about consent, thumbs up. If you have any questions, yeah, ask questions. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm not done. I'm just saying, make sure y'all thumbs up. I see 34 people in here and only 24 thumbs ups. Um, but yeah, I didn't know who that was. I knew Suki because I like the Suki kind of girls. This isn't relevant. Wait, is this relevant? I don't know if this is relevant. I'm gonna just mention it. There's some pettiness. There's a level of pettiness. Somebody might take this as victim blaming, but I'm gonna just say it. So, what I find interesting about Suki is she was very, very quick to defend little Bootsy when he was being real toxic about Zaya, real toxic about Lil Nas. But the same, you were aligning yourself with this toxic male energy, mama. And here we go, a couple of years later, you are at the epicenter of their vitriol. They're literally on the internet dragging you about your sexuality and how you asked for this because you talk about how your coochie is good, because of how you dress, because of your hypersexuality. that they're literally saying that that gives them permission to disrespect you and cross your boundaries. And so it is quite ironic that, not blaming her, but it's ironic that she puts herself, you're caping for these kind of toxic masculine men, but these same toxic masculine men are dragging you right now. They are, I don't know, is that victim blaming? It's not saying that she deserves it. I'm just saying, see, girl, this is why you shouldn't be caping for them clowns when they're being toxic to homosexuals and trans women, because they gonna turn around and be toxic to your over hypersexual self, because you are not in the respectability pedestal either. Just like we are not black excellence because we are queer, you're not black excellence because you are hoe, baby. You are over sexualized. So they get to disrespect you just like they disrespect us. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I'm trying not, it's not saying that she deserves it. It's just saying this is an observation, like you just said. Exactly. You see how that works? You caping for these clowns when it's against the homosexuals and the transgenders. But these same clowns will be tooting their red nose at you. Them same clowns will make you the center of the circus too. So that's something to think about. So I thought about that. I was like, oh, Suki. And I was like, because it was YK. And before that, there was a video that kind of was going viral right before this, where the dude was being super, super. She was in a podcast interview and he was being super, super sexual to her. And she was like, no, no, thank you. And the dudes was in the comments. What? Don't try to get shot now. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't turn up like that. You always got your pussy out and you always no, that still don't mean that I want to do it with this person. But yeah, somebody else, I can't remember the dude. He was a little older. He wasn't the young YK young, but he's an older. I can't remember, I don't know his name. But yes. DJ A1 showing her his dick pic. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. They're pulling up old receipts on her doing similar things to Drewski on Twitter. Yes. They're pulling up they're calling a double standard. But the people who are calling you out for this inappropriate behavior are not the ones that hold the double standards. Most of us feel it's inappropriate on both sides for you to do that. But that's what I'm talking about also. Like, even in that situation, say that, they're showing pictures of her doing something similar to Drewski. Cool. Then why didn't y'all call that out? Why didn't y'all make that a thing? Just like everybody else is making him doing it to her a thing, you should be making it a thing when you see a woman being inappropriate and crossing boundaries. You should be doing it as well, because you want to dismantle rape culture. You should be calling it out. I did this not an article, but I did a blog post on on my website about this is years ago. This is probably 8 years ago, seven. Whenever they were talking about Chris Brown and how he had got what I would say is molested by older woman when he was younger, having because I guess one D Ray, not the activist D Ray, but the comedian D Ray oh, um, Chris Brown, they were talking about how they lost their virginity when they were really, really younger. And so my blog post was about how for some straight men, when they are in these situations, it doesn't feel like molestation. So it doesn't feel like a trauma. Do you see what I'm saying? Because boys are celebrated for sexuality. When they are over sexual, they're like, oh yeah, he gonna be a player. Oh, he already getting pussy. Being over sexual is something that they are praised for, where girls are usually ashamed about. They gotta go through it once they get older. And when we say older, we're not talking about old, we're talking about 17, 18, 19, 20. But when they're young, girls are shamed for sexuality. Boys are praised for it. So if somebody is some inappropriate, gross, predatory woman is giving them some coochie, they're just gonna be like, "Ooh, I'm excited about getting access to coochie." they're not. They're not looking at it as a traumatic situation. They're looking at it as like, "Ooh, I'm getting access. Now I can go to school and brag about not being a virgin." A girl is not going to go to school and brag about not being a virgin at 12, 11. But a boy can go to school and brag about that. Oh, yeah, I got some pussy when I was 11. It's not seen as a trauma. But we got to call that stuff out. You have to call it out. When you see inappropriate boundaries being crossed, you say it. Also, that's all social conditioning, not natural biology. Explain that. Also, kind of related, I have had situations where straight women get very handsy touchy when they know you're gay. Yes, call it out. I've seen that. Excuse me. And that's not a threat to them. Very weird, awkward situations. Yes, I've seen straight women in gay clubs be very inappropriate to gay men. I- because oh, he's gay, you know how men are told to feel about molestation. Hmm. Okay. Yes, I definitely have seen that. Yeah, that's you gotta call it out. You have to call it out. And I had to, even myself, I try to do this a lot. There are certain situations that I didn't have to learn. It's just naturally just the kind of person that I am. But there are certain situations, certain things that let me give you a perfect example. So there's no friend in my life that can say that I fucked a man. Okay. So any friend, even acquaintance, like any acquaintance, not just a friend, any acquaintance, the way my pride and arrogance is set up in me, I do not want to chase after somebody's man that I know that I have a personal relationship or I'm in a social circle with, because I don't want somebody to feel like, oh, she was chasing after my seconds. That there is something about my arrogance and my pride that I can't do it. I don't want to be that person. So I'm never going to be trying to sleep with somebody's man. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care. It's something that is weird. Have I slept with people's men? Yes, unknowingly that I don't know. Some client, blah 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 blah. But some girl, somebody that I'm in social circles with, like my trans social circles with, like my trans friends, my close or non-close. I'm somebody who I'm somebody who I my pride doesn't allow me to be in that situation. So there's nobody that in my friend circle that I've dealt with their man ever. That's something that I didn't have to learn. I didn't have to get mature to know that. It's just how my natural socialization is set up. I have too much pride to sleep after somebody I know's man. They period. That's just something that I don't want to be. I don't want I don't want her to have to be able to brag about that. To be able to be like, oh yeah, she was chasing after my nigga. Da da da. Something you trying to want something that I want. No, that's never, 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 never. But this, what we're talking about now, thank you, thank you, thank you. What we're talking about now, I did have to learn. I was somebody that if I liked a dude, or if I see, like, say that I see a dude walking down the street and he ain't got no underwear on and he got the sweats and that dick is like boom, 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 boom. I was the type of girl that I'll go over in there and tap it. I'll be like, what's that? Just in my way of flirting, crossing those physical boundaries. Because usually dudes, they wouldn't say nothing. They be, they might jump and be like, "Oh, don't get to playing. You might start something you don't want to finish." Oh, baby, I want to finish. Let's go. Let's finish it. What's that? And they did it get hard right there. We go to the bathroom. We go to, you get what I'm saying? I've been in them situations with men where it led to consensual sex because I'm flirting and I'll touch their dick just because I can see it, or I might I might inappropriately touch them because, oh, I can do that to dudes. That's how dudes are. Dudes are sexual. You can do that to them. In my younger years, that's how I thought. But as I grew up, I had to learn that if I wanted them to respect them to learn to respect boundaries, I had to learn that to respect their bodies and boundaries too. I can't be like, "Why are you touching my ass?" But I'm going around touching people dick. I had to even though it might be cool for some dude to want me to do that, it's still appropriate for me to ask for consent. Or maybe say something about it without actually touching it. Yeah, but socially it's different. Rarely can a woman overpower a man. Well, yeah. I get on a physical level, but also I think who can overpower who doesn't matter when it comes to touching somebody's body and getting consent for them to be touched. Um, they are in danger of their boundaries being crossed. They may not be physically in danger as far as like physical harm of themselves. Like they may not be in harm of somebody holding them down and raping them, but I'm in danger of my physical being crossed, my physical boundaries being crossed. And I might not want that. I might not want to be touched. I might be, this is I had to learn this earlier too, as well. Men aren't as comfortable with sexuality as we may think they are. Some men are not. And so while there are some men, you touch their dick, that motherfucker gonna get hard, be like, yeah, come on, baby, let's go. But there are some men who will literally take that as a violation. Like, why are you touching me? Like, oh, I didn't, nah, that ain't my, it could be a thing and get turned off. Absolutely. Like, oh, I don't want to be touched. Or, or they're ashamed of their penis. I've been in that situation where it was a violation and they were turned off by how aggressive I was. It was masculine to them, or it could get you clocked. women don't do that. I've had that experience where they said, "Oh, women don't do that. You must be trans or something." I've had that situation, especially if they've been molested or something along those lines. Yes, you gotta be careful. They're not as sexual as you may think. Now, a lot of them don't care. Might want you to do it, but you don't know that, so you gotta ask for consent. And so, as a grown woman, um, I had to learn that I had to treat them with just as much respect as I wanted to be treated myself when it comes to physical boundaries, when it comes to everything. And so I had to, like I said at the end, I had to teach and practice and be the example of what consent looked like. And that don't mean you don't flirt. That don't mean if I see the gray sweats, I'm not saying, "Oh my God, you need to put some underwear on." Just for me to acknowledge that I see that big old dick in them pants. And then if you say something back, what you looking at? I pay attention to big old dicks, honey, because I like big old dicks. And all these, and that's how you get to the conversation of, can I see it outside of the sweats? What's up? You get to you still can get to what you're trying to get to without actually touching their body parts. I had to learn that because when I was younger, honey, young, hot, tender woman tipping around these streets in the club. Ooh. They would do, because when you're a girl, they would do it to me. I would tip around, and this doesn't mean that it's okay. And I had to learn that because when I would go to the club, as a trans woman, I'm trying to be. There is a level of insecurity that I would have, and if I'm like, especially like in college, I'm trying to just just blend and be not clocked. But I would be tipping to the club, and dudes would be putting their hands up under my skirt. Now, of course, I'm tucked for the nine, so they not feeling no pain. But I could feel them put their hands on my skirt. I gotta be like, "What is going on?" Or I'm walking past somebody in this big old crowd, and somebody grabs my booty, or touch my booty, or smacks my booty. They would do that, and that's not okay. But my brain in my younger years was like, "Oh, if they doing it, I'm about to do it too. So if I'm walking past, I'm gonna touch that dick." I would just do what they were doing. And then my homegirls was thinking that same kind of way if it was somebody that they liked. Hot tail behind, as my grandmother would say. Very bad. Not physical compliments. That's another element of consent as well. Another element of rape culture and, just weird stuff. Like, as a trans woman, I don't have the same relationship with catcalling that maybe a cis woman does. So when I'm tipping down the street and the men is woohoo or damn and da 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 da, it affirms my womanhood. You getting what I'm selling, not literally selling, but I'm not being clocked. You're seeing the woman that I'm trying to present. So this affirms that woman. So it used to be, if I'm tipping across the street and the construction site men is like, "Damn, baby girl, I feel love. It's making me right. It's making me feel a certain kind of way." But if a cis woman, who may not have that same need for validation of her womanhood in the way that I do, she may think of it as disrespectful and gross. Why are you talking like that to me? Where me, I'm like, work. Don't touch me, but you're affirming that I'm that girl. See the difference? I may think of it differently. I hate when guys act like us talking about consent means they can't even flirt. Exactly. It's not saying that you can't flirt, or they just go to the extreme. Oh, I'm just not gonna talk to anybody. You can't do nothing without them calling you a rapist. Oh, girl. Oh, Miss Thing, we'll be gay. Have sex with your homeboys, since y'all like to maneuver in that kind of way. Let's see how you feel about your homeboys just doing whatever. Let's see how quickly you learn what consent look like between y'all. They'll come back quickly, talk about, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I see what y'all talking about. They got to, they got to touching my booty and touching my booty hole. Because maybe they quick to know what it looks like. Baby, I've been in situations where a gay dude got on the bus and sat down in a seat next to a straight man, and he went totally smacked the clean off just because the gay boy chose the seat. Why you gotta sit next to me? I'm not gay. The gay boy was like, what? I'm just sitting down going to work. What are you talking about? But honey, he felt like his boundary had been crossed. I've seen many straight men very, very extra about personal boundary. And I told y'all, I told y'all, I remember once everybody knew my tea at Jackson State, I remember I would be tipping around, with my cisgender homegirls, and we're kind of, going through the socializing at the college, and our where all the people kind of hung out at was either the plaza, which was kind of like this open space, and then people would be going in and out of the. There was the Union, which had like a bowling alley and pool table, just kind of like a social stuff. It had like the bookstore and just a bunch of social stuff. And that was in between the cafeteria. So you would see people, the hot social area would be the plaza, Union, and cafeteria. So the parking lot of the cafeteria, because the parking lot of the cafeteria was in the middle of the Union. And so it was like this social thing. So say we just got done eating, me and my homegirls will walk through the cafeteria, through the cafeteria parking lot to the Union to the plaza, or vice versa. We about to go eat. So one time we're coming from the plaza, headed to the cafeteria to get something to eat. And so you got to go through the Union, which is a building. You go through the Union to get to the other door to go to to get to the parking lot of the cafeteria and go to the cafeteria. So when we're coming through the door, I'm with probably like 5 cisgender girls, and they know my everybody. There's no tea need to be spilled. Everybody know I'm Diamond, the trans on the campus. Um, Dee Dee, they didn't know me as Diamond, Dee Dee. Um, and so the dude opened the door, and I'm not like the last. I'm probably like number 3 in the 5 of the girls. And when I come out the door, and he holds the door open for me with the other 4 girls, he gets to tripping about holding the door for me. Talking about, I hold the door for females. That's a fucking drag queen, and I'm not gay, and don't be having me open the door for you. You a man, and da 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 da. I remember him literally going off about opening the door for me. Now, mind you, fast forward to 5 minutes before we came, which somebody called out a couple of minutes later after after he's going off. Now we don't see this because we weren't in the vicinity, but this dude said, "Dude, Why are you being so extra about opening the door when 5 minutes before these women came, you came out this same door with a group of dudes and you held the door open for them while y'all were talking? But because this is a trans girl, you got to do all of this clown stuff. You literally just came through the door and held the door open for your homeboy, who is a man, clearly. And you acting like this thing, this whole, you making this a big deal. Now, luckily, he was there to point this out because we weren't there. We didn't see it. But he was trying to embarrass me and call me all kinds of mans and blah 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 about holding the door open for me. And how that was a violation of his heterosexuality that he held the door open for me. Because I'm not really a woman. But then the dude says, dude, you making this such a big deal, but you literally just right before they came out, you held the door open for them, your homeboys. Because that's what normal people do. If you come in, you hold the door open for people who might be walking through it. It is such a common thing that you're turning into a homosexual thing, an anti-gay thing. What is your problem? It was one of the strangest situations that I had been in. But homosexuality, hating homosexuals, not homosexuality, hate homophobia and hating homosexuality is a illogical and toxic thing. So trying to rationalize it and understand it, you're gonna always lose. I love these. Hmm. Hmm. Put these in the freezer. They just feel so good on your face. And they hold cold because this was in the freezer for a long time and now. And it's been sitting here and it's still cold. What did he say in response to him? He just felt stupid and just kept going with the talk about that's different. No, it's not. And we just walked off. We was going to the cafeteria to eat, but the dude was like, "It's no, it's not. It's the same thing, nigga." Mm. Oh, I forgot to do this. So I was gonna read it to y'all. So this is Meek Mills. Now, anybody know me know that Meek Mills is physically one of my favorite rappers because he's so fine and so sexy and so my type. But this is how weird that he got. He says, y'all are drawing a big line between men and women nowadays on social media. It gets bad in the black community. All this internet superficial shaming, judging, gaslighting only hurts us, our people. And it's a lot of people who need strength, especially young black men. We might He might gotta rumble Suki's brother anything. I don't know. Some of these words is weird. He might have to rumble Suki's brother or anything, but this is the same internet tearing each other down for stuff. Suki can do what she wants if she feels violated, but let me mind my business. And everybody is under the post like, what the hell are you talking about? Somebody in the comments said, "Boy, what the fuck are you talking about?" And then somebody else said, "I can't read this shit." They're under the comments reading. And then somebody got into this comment and said, "You abuse Nikki and speaking out on another abuser." Yikes. They get to dragging them so fast. Meek, with all due respect, you took a little too long to develop opinions you should have had 10 years ago. Did the internet draw the line, or are we just calling it how we see it? Was she turning around, saying no and saying stop? She was. Did we all see the same footage? She was turning around, saying no and saying stop. What is the line that we are drawing? Exactly. All four men owe Suki an apology, the assaulter, and the three enablers. Men need to hold other men accountable. That's an interesting take. What do y'all think about that take? Because she was on a panel, and there were other men on the panel that were kind of just laughing and like, oh, watching it go down and not stopping. Do y'all think that that is appropriate for them to be like, "Yo, bro," she said, "Nah, isn't their business." And then this one girl told him to shut up and then posted a picture of him bent over with this is Meek Mills, right? With the gun in his booty. She said, "This you." Yes, it's real. Ooh. She was like, "You a whole child, and you was 36 years old," and then she posted this picture of him putting fries on his leg. She just basically saying, "Nigga, you childish anyway. Nobody care about your opinion." This fan is making me get congested. Y'all know it's like 100 and something degrees in Houston for the next couple of days. 105, 102. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Well, this fan got to be on, honey. Oh, this is an interesting conversation. Meanwhile, it is still winter in LA. Yeah, y'all got triple digits. Yes, child. Ooh, I've been staying in the AC. But this is an interesting concept that I wanted to hear your opinion on. Under Meek Mill's, what you call it? The dude says it's crazy. If this was the other way around, we talked about the other way around, how women can do stuff, blah 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 blah. Hey, Magic, um, it would be different. That man gon' that man not gonna do that again, and that's the point. He just thought that he was that guy who was able to pull that off, and he is not. So, so there, he's implying that there's a type of guy that could pull this off. Now, there are situations where I've seen dudes try to move in for a kiss and the girl leans in for a kiss with them. And I've seen the point be made that women only don't like this stuff when it's somebody they're not attracted to. If they're attracted to him, they go for it. And so my response, what do y'all think about that? My response to that is, okay. But the problem is you assuming that you are that guy. There might be somebody who it would work for, but the try it and see is not okay. And that's what we're trying to tell you. And that's what we're trying to tell you. It may go well between this girl and this guy, or this person and this person. That may work. But that doesn't mean that you do it. That doesn't mean that you figure it out. That don't mean that every girl you need to figure out if you're that guy. Because what Fresh just said, 9 times out of 10, you aren't that guy. Honey, Iman Trumpert, come up to me and touch my breast. I'm taking my shirt off so he can get a better feel. He's that guy for me. That doesn't mean he's that guy for somebody else. That doesn't mean he's that guy for somebody else. Because that is my type. That is, the yes is already ingrained in my body. The yes is there. But that doesn't mean that trying to think somebody else. Daniel Caesar can do that. He cannot. I think he's horribly unattractive. He can't do that. I'm gonna ask for my rate. I need my money. Coins. I need my coins, Daniel. How much money you got? What rent you paying? Before you put your hands on me, I need my rent paid. Iman, let Imans let you out. Let them use you at the church folk. Yes. I might not ask for no money. I want some always. But Iman might get me for free just for the opportunity because he is my type, head to toe. Toe, head to toe. I've seen all his body parts, head to toe. And we can fix that. I can look over that. Them basketball player feet, I can look over that. Every head to toe. He is one of them head to toe. Yeah, I'll take them. I'll take them. It evens out. The thing about incels is that they are not usually celibate, just not having sex with the women they want. Come on, Lena. That part. Stick beside him, right? I'm Tiana Taylor about it. Husband material. Having babies in the middle of bathroom floor by him. I get her. I know exactly what she was on. Sis was on what I would have been on. That's what I would have been on. Because he is the dream. He is the dream man. But yes. I thought this was an interesting conversation that people are having. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. All right, what else is going on before I go? Um, because I'm hungry. I want something to eat. Oh. Good night, fight. Make sure you got thumbs up. Have you seen Bob the drag queen liking race play? Um, do you know black drag queens that don't like race play? I feel like every black drag queen I know likes white boys. I feel like it's something RuPaul about them always. It's something about them that's kind of um always. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't have no issue with interracial relationship for anybody else. Yeah, I don't have when I see somebody in an interracial relationship, it doesn't spark any I don't really be I don't really it doesn't spark thoughts until they do something. Like they do something that's like, "Oh, that's very cool like." So I can see how oh, that cool personality reflects in the people that you date. It is a certain type of yeah, it's a certain you can tell. You can tell. It's like I'm all about me personally. I want a loving, amazing black man. I want that. That is ideal. But if some amazing non-black person could be another minority, a POC, it could be a white king. But if they come with all the things that I like in a man, all the things, and only box that they don't check is I'm black, I'm gonna ride into the sunset with them. Into the sunset of love with them. If they have all the other stuff, I'm gonna make that work. Just because I respect how you treat me. I don't care about race. But if I get the choice, I'm going to choose an African, not just black. I want an African American man. But if somebody else comes along and they treat me right, yes, I'll, I'll, I'll run along. I'll run with it. Get you a nice Latin king. You can be his diamante. Mhm. Now, now I have to be honest. I have a visual um, diversion to pink penises, pinkish penises. So when I see them, I'm kind of not necessarily, not always, you know, always, but there is a thing with me and pink penises. I was an escort for many years, and so pink penises kind of You know, one of the reasons why I don't date too many. It's a certain type of light skinned man that I date. You know, you got those light skinned men that they piece look like white man's pieces, and you got the light skinned men who they pieces way darker than their body. um, so it's a certain type. So you have to be a certain type. Hey Maxwell. Um, it's the uncut ones that I can't take. I don't mind uncut. Not only do I prefer uncut, um, big uncut. I don't like little uncut. I like big uncut, girthy uncut, big long. I like it to be all long and girthy. You know, my favorite penis is between 7 and 9 uncut, and it's the kind of uncut that comes all the way out. I don't like the kind of um doesn't pull back. I don't like that. But I prefer the uncut that comes all the way out, and yeah, a very girthy 7 to 9 inches uncut is the perfect penis. Because I don't know about y'all, but anal uncut penis with anal feels better than a to me. For my body, it feels better than a cut one. There's something about that skin that makes it just go in and rumble your sugar cabinets much better. Yeah, the cat meats, no. The little short Mexican uncut cat meats. Oh no, mm-mm, mm-mm, no thank you. Vienna sausages. Oh no, yeah, no, mm-mm. But yeah, I learned in my 20s that a big uncut thing was perfect and felt amazing. I remember I hooked up with this dude when I first came to Houston, maybe like my first year. And baby, he pulled out this Whopper that I was kind of nervous about. I was like, "Ooh, that thing looked like it might do some damage." I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to play with him. It was one of them, but you know, I give it an old college try every year. I at least try and see. But it was just one of them ones that you look at and you like, "Ooh, this is about to be some work." Ooh, Lord, like, ooh, I don't know. Like you get you get to question how good you done dushed. It's like, ooh, I done went and got ready, but did I get ready? You're like, ooh, I don't know. Yeah, this one is gonna make your love come down. Ooh, make your love come down. It might be one of them, honey. But honey, woo, we he got up in there and it was I was like, oh, wait a minute. This thing just slipped right on in. And I could feel how the skin was just helping it just slide on in. It's like, oh, it was just perfect. It just was perfect. Yeah, it was just perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. I'm like, oh, this ain't no joke. I was able to maneuver in ways that I had not been able to maneuver before. It was big enough to, because some people be acting like, oh, there was a debate on, I don't know if I don't want to call it a debate, but somebody had tweeted anything over 7 inches is just unneeded and too much and blah 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 blah. So I say, well, I think 7 inches is quite average. Um, but one of the reasons like I like a 7 to 9 is because certain positions If it's too short, you can't really get in the rhythm without it falling out. Like if you riding a dude in a certain position, it especially if you dealing with a booty cat, a booty hole. In certain positions, it will fall out if it can't reach up to it. And so, whereas if it was a vagina, is kind of further up. So, like, say for example, you on top facing him. Now, when you're up like this, okay, when you're up, he's laying flat like this, and you're up and you going up and down. Okay, cool. It's easy because your boo hole right there, blah blah blah. But if you want to get in close to him, your tailbone lifts up, and when you're trying to go up and down, when you in close, kissing, hugging, whatever, putting your boobs in his face, if the thing ain't big enough, it's gonna pop out. It's gonna say, "Doo," and you can't stroke with your hoe. Now you 7, yes. If you're on top, and yeah, it's cool. But when we're talking about different positions, even when you even like doggy style, when you if you're trying to throw it back, there's a difference between throwing it back on a 7 and throwing it back on a 9. Because you can kind of get into it. Wham, 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 wham. But if it's short, you kind of gotta stay right there. And you can't really, you can't really move. And I don't know, just a 9 is just the perfect size. And they don't fall out in any position. And anybody who's, I don't know how cisgender women bodies is, or assigned female at birth people bodies is, but well, I don't really know how nobody body is except for mine. But I've talked about this with assigned male at birth people. Um, there's also, okay, so there's the hole, okay, but also when you get to the back of the rectum, there's another chamber or something. I don't know what to call it, but it's another chamber that you get once you get past the hole. If the dick is too short, it doesn't get back to that other chamber. And that other chamber, you need to touch that. You need to touch that back there. I I don't want you to have a big enough piece to stay on it because it's something about staying on it. The chambers of secrets, baby. It's something about staying on it that hurts. That's like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. So I don't need you to be 10, 11, 12. That gets too much. Or if you just stay in there and it's not, I need you to be, and 9 for me is usually the exact spot. Um, 8 sometimes depend on certain positions, but usually 9 definitely. When you get in, you hit that spot, and it's like doop, doop, doop. It's not staying on it unless he just take his piece and stay there. But usually it hits it, and it's like it just sends these waves of whoa, oh, and that'll make you ha. That feeling is what I'm trying to get to when I'm trying to ejaculate. And so some 6 inch nice meat, it might work with making the hole fill up and you cool, but it ain't gonna get to that chamber of secrets, baby. Boop, 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 boop. You feel me? So I need it to be 7 to 9. That's my favorite size. Anything over that, yes, it's too much. Any kind of 10, it's like whose rectum is 10 inches? Bigger is better for throating until he says turn around. Yeah, that's why that's a good call out too. Also, as far as what turns you on, who wants to suck on a little penis? Does that actually turn you on to sit there and see this little penis in your face and you sucking on it? Don't nobody want to suck on a little penis. They might suck on it just for, just to do it for you. But who wants to suck it? Like, I want some big girthy meat that I'm like, that I'm slobbing on. You want it to be big. If I'm sucking on it, you want me in it? Who wants to suck a little piece? Nobody wants to suck no little. Girl, that feels stupid. Don't nobody want that. Don't nobody want that, honey. They barely want to fuck it. We definitely don't want to suck it because sucking it, they ain't giving us no pleasure. For real, for real. We want to do it because we're turned on by doing it for you. But I don't want to suck on no late little piece. No, no, thank you. I want to suck on something that looks like, ooh, I'm sucking a big old dick. You want something that's gonna turn you on and get you excited. Don't nobody want no late little look. No, don't nobody want that. That's another element of why big pieces are important. Even if the motion in the ocean, you can do good. Because I'd have had a little piece please me. So I don't want to. It's not that they don't work or you now too little. There are some too little pieces where, come on now. But I'm talking about, like 5 to 7, like that range between 5 inches and 7. I know some people who can work those inches to where, ooh, this actually feels good. What they're doing feels good. Anything below that, child, get out of here. Go back to kindergarten, child. Grow up. But 5 to 7, that range right there. Um, that range right there is, I've had some dudes in that range that it's like, oh, this feels they're working it and it's feeling good. So I don't want to say it's not the motion in the ocean. Yes, it's what they do with it that can make it pleasurable. But I don't care what kind of motion you got when I'm sucking it. I want it to look like something I want to suck. And I personally don't want to suck a little dang dang. I want to suck something that looks like a grown man penis. A man, baby. Something that's, you know, juicy. So yes. How did we get on this topic? Oh, we were talking about interracially dating. But yes, I don't mind. I don't mind dating interracially. If you gotta have peace, definitely. Um, you gotta. And what's crazy is what I like in other races is usually abnormal. It's usually like abnormal things. For example, like or what you think that I might not like. So I don't like what we call in my younger years wiggers, like dudes that are white that act like black or are culturally in our culture. Like I met some dudes who are, they grew up in the hood, so they kind of they have the vernacular of a hood black dude. That don't turn me on. I don't like that. Um, I like California beach babe type of white dudes, tall or Texas country thick cornbread white dudes. That kind of they got big legs, big booty, maybe got a little beard, be wearing cowboy hats and jeans. Yeah, I like that. I like that. If they married, they probably call they if they get married or they married, they probably call their wife. This my wife. I like those kind of white boys. They turn me on. You like yours white? Yes, I like my white boys to be white. The kind of beach tan blonde white boy. Yes, dark. They can be blonde and dark hair though too. So like that Josh Hartnett white. Um, Paul Walker white. Um, Paul Walker, Josh Hartnett, Orlando Bloom white. um, yeah. I also like. There's a certain type of plain Jane nerdy white that I like. Probably play video games, anime. They don't really have. They have a very usually they have a very regular body. They're not skinny. They're not fat. They're like very regular. Um, but usually smart and great conversation. Do you like redheads? Yes, redheads are my favorite kind of white. Prince Harry. Yes, redhead white. Yes, I really like anything redhead. It's something about redheads that turns me on, even the black ones. Are there redhead Asians, like naturally redhead Asians? I've never seen one of them. Maybe. I'm pretty sure there's something in all the world. Um, I like a white boy with both sleeves tatted up. Asians tall. Like if you give me a tall Japanese man, that's probably my tea. Tall Japanese man. Um, Usually don't. I can't figure out too many Vietnamese that I've been attracted to. They're usually too short. There's this boy that works at my this restaurant that I go to. He's gay, but if he was straight, I feel like I would be attracted to him because he's about 5'10", and he has a body that's that kind of thickness that I like. And so I think if he just was a little bit more masculine, but I think he's gay. Um, yeah, I think he's gay. Jolly Rancher shoes. These are so good. Um, um, I really like. I've learned over the couple of years that the dark skinned Arab men I really like. The guy from Squid Game who plays the game by the subway. I don't know him. Um, oh, Arabs, dark skinned Arabs, darker, like my color and a little bit darker. Mm, somebody, a type of person that I have an almost borderline unhealthy fetish for, and I actually try to avoid them because of this. Sudanese men, but I've never dated one because it feels too fetishy because of how dark they are. Like I had an Uber driver in Dallas on Wednesday. And I was looking at him like, God, the way I would eat him up, because he was so chocolate and fine. Because, Sudanese men are a special kind of dark. They like glow in the dark, dark. And they be having them high cheekbones. And he was looking like a snack, baby. And I asked him, was he Sudanese? And he's like, yes, how do you know? And I was like, well, because of how you look. I have a I have a unhealthy fetish for dark skinned men. And honey, so I know Sudanese men because y'all usually the darkest culture, darkest race. And then I be on TikTok following them, and it is some of them that are just, oh, Jesus. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just be following them. Some of them be too tall and lanky, but if they got some weight on them, just a little bit of like a basketball player build. Ooh. Sometimes they be tall, but they be super skinny, like goat herders. They ain't got no thickness, and I don't like that. I need you to have some thickness. Do you think your fetish for dark skin is bad, like how light skin fetish sometimes are considered? My fetish for dark skin come from the same place that fetish for light skin people come from, colorism. So yes, it's bad. It's like you want the opposite. Yes. Colorism says dark skin is masculine and light skin is feminine. And so, as somebody who is attracted to men, dark skinned men are going to be the most thing that I think is the most masculine and most beautiful. So, if I think that this is the most masculine and most beautiful, what do I think is the opposite? That's when the problem comes. So, I have to consciously dismantle those beliefs and address it within myself. But I don't think it shows up for me that way in women because the women that I'm attracted to are also dark skinned. But I don't think of them as masculine. I think it's like there's this girl on Instagram named either Sonia Barbie Tucker or Rucker. She's the most beautiful woman in the world to me. One of them at the very least. She got to be my top 5 that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Sonia Barbie Tucker. So Sonia underscore Barbie, spelled the regular way, Barbie underscore Tucker. Go to her page and look at her videos. She is like, if I was into girls, this would be my type. She's like, but what she looks like has always been the type of women that I've been attracted to. Like if there was a woman that got my attention, because I remember when I was little, like I used to go with this girl named April. and April looked like her, but she's grown. April, what I imagine she looked like when she was a little girl. April was just this gorgeous, beautiful, dark skinned baby doll looking little girl. We were the same age, and I just was infatuated with her. I can't say sexually, but I was infatuated with her. Um, but this girl, everything about her, she's just beautiful. She's like, if I was into women, this is what I would be into. Perfect face, perfect body, everything. Mm. And I'll put her link to her Instagram in the comments. But yes, I find her to be absolutely stunning. So I don't know how that reads, but I know that in my attracted to men, I don't know how that translates to girls and how I engage with girls. But men, I associate dark skin to be more masculine, light skin to be more, oh, honey, which is problematic. Um, but yeah, I don't see how that had came up in my attraction to women or who I think is beautiful. I have all with women, I have, and it might be because I'm not sexually attracted to them, but I have always had an array of what I thought was beautiful in women. So there's been plenty of dark skinned women that I thought was gorgeous, and even ones that other people may not have thought was gorgeous. Like Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg in where she looked at like attractively beautiful to me when she was dressed up as Oda Mae Brown and going into Ghost on the movie Ghost, and she was dressed up in that pink, and she was so gorgeous to me. Even though that was a funny scene, her body was banging, her face was gorgeous, and then when she was sitting there with them red nails and he was jumping in her body, Whoopi looked like Whoopi was beautiful. Whoopi was sickening to me in Ghost. Yeah, in Ghost, she was looking quite beautiful. I know people was acting like Whoopi Goldberg wasn't beautiful, but to me, in my young mind, Whoopi was beautiful. I know she was, you know what I'm saying? I know she was there was certain things that was said when I was growing up that made Whoopi Goldberg the punchline, or made, like, say somebody saying you Whoopi Goldberg looking bitch. I've heard that before, but it didn't register what I thought was beautiful. Um, um, yeah. So her, oh, the girl who played, the girl. Oh, this is one that I remember growing up too. The girl who played Tina Turner's Angela Bassett her sister. She's so damn gorgeous. When she was at the bar and she told Anime, "Oh, I didn't tell you to wear the white dress." Well, I hope you know what come with that territory. Her being behind that bar in her, and when Anime was up there singing with Ike, and she was behind the bar like this in her dress, like celebrating her sister singing good. That thing was so pretty. Oh, she was so pretty. Those are like ingrained in my mind, beauty images that's why I can recall them. Like, because she was so gorgeous to me. She stood out as in that scene as the beauty of that scene. Um, yeah. um, yeah, she was gorgeous. Who else was some moments? Of course, Grace Jones. Grace Jones, Boomerang, Robin Givens, Boomerang. Um, I'm just trying to remember when I was younger, how even though I was getting messages that were anti-black, colorist messages, there still were, for me, dark skinned beauties that I had in my life. Um, Robin Givens, Lark Voorhees from Saved by the Bell. That's one of the most beautiful. Not now, because I don't know what happened to her, but when she was in Saved by the Bell, Lark Voorhees, woo, she was stunning. Robin Givens. Um, oh, who else? Whoopi. Oh, on I'm trying to think of beauty memories in my mind. Keisha from Belly, of course. Keisha from Belly, when DMX was fucking her, and she was walking even before the sex scene when she was walking down the street. Keisha, ooh. But also, you know who else? Another Keisha. Keisha from New Jack City, when she was shooting. And she said, "Rockabye, baby." Her, she was pretty. Um, mm, um, the girl who said, Mr. Clark don't respect you because you don't know how to take care of your responsibilities." On Lean on Me, the girl that got pregnant, I thought she was beautiful. The girl from Lean on Me. Y'all know what I'm talking about, when they at the steps at the end, and she's like, "Mr. Clark don't respect you because you don't know how to take care of your responsibilities." I love that. No, I think Naomi was problematic when she was younger. No, I don't think that was just Tyra. I think that was the mean girl, it girl, teenager. Tyra was in the in crowd with Christy Turlington, Linda Evangelista, all those girls, and I mean, Naomi was in the in crowd, and I can see her being shady. Yeah, I don't think that was about color. Yeah. I am. I love Naomi as far as her career, but yeah, I don't see no evidence of Tyra being that translates to evidence. Do I see her being evidence of her being problematic on her show, cultural stuff like making people get in blackface and blah blah blah? I see those things as problematic, but her being a mean girl to other people, I haven't heard that. I haven't. Her sending those contestants through the ringer to make a good show, yes, and doing problematic in that realm, yes, I heard and believe all of that in Tyra's history. But Tyra being a mean girl to other people, just in general life stories, I've never heard that. Oh, Regina King been pretty since 227 for me. Regina King was beautiful in 227. And Naomi, I can tell how Naomi in her show The Face and how she has been in like off the scene stuff and how they talked about stuff happening like with Stephen Mizell. Yeah, I never heard that. I've only heard negative stuff about Tyra in regards to her show and those contestants, not in her career, not in her modeling career. Woo, yes, Maxine, definitely. Max, Max was the beauty um of living single to me. Max in them suits with them braids, with them dreads in different bob styles. Max was that bitch. Max was the beauty of that show to me. Yes, um, Queen Latifah was cute. Regine was cute. Sinclair was weird. But to me, the beauty of the show was Max. Same thing with girlfriends. Tony Childs was the beauty of the show. I know they may have tried to make Joan or Portia the beauties, I guess. I don't know if they made Portia the beauty, but I don't know. I just know to me, Tony ate all of them hoes up. Jill Marie with her lips, her beautiful lips. Oh God, yeah. Jill Marie ate all of them girls up. I like Joan's fashion, but Jill's look, her mug was eating, punishing. Mm-mm. The only one who came close was Maya. Miss Golden, I don't know. I never really felt Miss Golden, honey. I felt like Golden, Joan, Maya, Joan, and Persia, Lynn, they were all on the same level to me as far as they look. Like as far as yeah, I don't see either one of them outdoing either for me. They all like eights. If I was to judge them by their looks, they all like eights. But Tony was a 10 to me. Jill Marie was fine. Jessica, Jessica White. I don't like her now, but because she a weirdo, hotel weirdo. But Jessica White was always beautiful to me. Jill was next level beauty. Yeah, Tony was sick. Um, who else? Who else would stand out? Chocolate beauties. Um, if y'all remember, during the peak of early '90s hip hop, there was tons of colorism, tons of black girls being the main black. I mean, biracials, not black girls, biracials or light skinned black girls being the main girl in the hip hop videos. But the girl who I loved, who I paid attention to, I don't know her name, but she was a chocolate girl who was also many times one of the main character girls. But looked like she had like, I think what made her unique is that she looked like she had like Asian eyes, like those kind of almond, very Asiatic eyes. Let me see if I can find a picture of her. Oh, Miss Maya too. Maya Campbell from In the House. She was sickening. Um, I have to find her picture. Wow, I wish I knew we were going to talk about this. I would have been able to find her. She was on they on BET. They did like a not an expose. That's not the right word for it, but did like a special on video vixens of the '90s. They had Melissa Ford, Buffy the Body, those classic ones. But there was another girl. She was to me. I felt like she was the darkest one. I don't know where to. Not Buffy the Body. God, I wish I could find her. But she had short hair too. She was brown with short hair. Um, yeah, they keep showing me the light skinned girls. But anyway, but yeah, she was sickening. This girl is not really dark, but are you talking about Tay Hicker? No, this girl was definitely dark. Let me see. Tay Hicker. No, This girl was definitely dark, like without question. I know some people be weird about what's dark skin and what's not dark skin. But no, this girl is definitely dark. Definitely. Like I think she's the darkest popular video vixen at this time, at this era. Yeah, I don't know who does it, but I think it was BT. They went into this whole thing about video vixen, and so they was showcasing all of the ones who were in popular stuff. So of course, Superhead, Buffy the Body, um, Melissa Ford, those the classic ones. Ooh, Ryan Destiny is gorgeous. Um, her and Hermione, they both are cute. Um, God, I wish I knew her name. But yeah, not her. But she is like very, very clearly dark skinned, like Buffy the Body's color. She's like she might be even darker than her. But I feel like she was even darker than Buffy the Body. But she had short hair, and but what made her look unique is that she looked like a dark skinned Asian. With full lips. Angel Lola Love. I love her. She's not dark skinned to me though. I love her. She looks like a typical Angel Lola Love, Lola Monroe, aka Lola Monroe. She's East African, so she looks like Iman to me, like a young. She got that East African look. They all look like that. So her beauty wasn't surprising to me. It seems like Kelly Rowland only more recently get praised for her beauty. Not to me. Everybody praises. I feel like everybody praises Kelly Rowland. She's always been praised for her beauty as a response to Beyonce. There's always when Beyonce get praised for her beauty, there's always somebody that would say, ever since they came out, that say, "Oh, but I like the dark one. I like Kelly. She's just as beautiful. I think she's more beautiful. Y'all only like her because she's light skinned." There has always been that crowd of people who um who praise Kelly in response to Beyonce. It's always been there. Kelly has never not been seen as beautiful or more or just as beautiful as Beyonce. Now colorism says, of course, Beyonce is gonna be Beyonce. But I've never seen a negative response to Kelly in her beauty. She's always been praised for it. She's always been the chocolate answer to Beyonce. Shannon Thornton, Miss Mississippi. Woo, ain't she gorgeous? She's also gorgeous. She's stunningly beautiful. Of course, Nia Long, of course. When I was a kid, I remember Kelly always being praised for her beauty. Always. I never, I never not because she was getting a shine, being the Destiny Child, and there was a moment where, for me, and this is just for me, where it was undeniable. I've always thought she held her own when it came to beauty in comparison to Beyonce. I've never been seen a video with Destiny Child where Kelly looked like where Beyonce was just like, oh my God, Beyonce is the most beautiful, and these other two girls are just nowhere near comparison. Kelly has always held her own when it comes to the beauty department of standing next to Beyonce and being just as immaculately beautiful. She's always been that. Where it really was a super, super apparent For me, where it was undeniable, like, bitch, Kelly is eating, is Cater to You video. When they were in them black dresses, let me cater to you. And they was in the desert, and Kelly turned around and did that little that hairspin and that little wink, and that mug was just woo, baby. She always held her own when it comes to how she looked. When it comes to Beyonce, the energy wasn't always equal to Beyonce when it comes to performance energy, but but as far as how she looked when she jumped up, when when she come out with her that told y'all I was gonna bump like this. When she came out with that song, she was looking sickening like this. She looked so beautiful in that. The stole era of Kelly, I didn't like her hair. I just didn't like her hair. Her mug was always sitting, but that red them red flippy doodads, I liked her like this era. That's when I felt like Kelly was getting her shine on. Anytime she's giving that Barbie doll, honey, that's what I live. That's like, yes, ma'am. Um, she's always been sickening. She's always been sickening. I don't remember a time where she and people knew it and talked about it. I just never known a time when that was even in question. No good, you're so good, you're so good. Baby, you're no good. Yeah, like Candy in the first season of Raw. Yes, did not like her hair, but I guess it was hot at the time. But yeah, Mississippi looks sickening. Hmm. Brandy is cute too. Her mug ain't eating like Mississippi's, but but her body is. Um, Brandy, Mercedes. Oh, you were born in '94. When were you in middle school? You was in middle school and you was in middle school when she had oh, Beyonce was solo by the time you was in middle school, so you really didn't get to see the Destiny Child era. You were like 10 when the Destiny Child era was popping. Yeah. Oh yeah, now. Mm-mm. Yeah, I have a totally different view. When did Stole come out? I'm trying to see what year that was because that's when her first single, Kelly's first single, was out. Kelly Rowland Stole release. Yeah, y'all wasn't even in when she came out as a solo artist. That was 2002. Y'all wasn't even 10. Y'all, if y'all was born in '94, y'all was 10 in 2004. Yeah, when Kelly came out as a solo with a solo single, y'all wasn't even y'all was 8. Y'all were babies. Y'all hoes is young. I'm trying to think of um, when did Motivation come out? When did Kelly Rowland's Motivation come out? That came out in 2011. That's when her shit popped off. That's when y'all should have been in middle school by then, right? Or high school. Yeah, y'all was in high school by the time her Motivation came out. Yeah, y'all was in high school. That was a young child. Ooh, I was a grown prostitute when y'all was in high school. A grown woman out is traveling the world, being an escort, hoeing, making money. I was a high school child. Yeah, I started escorting in 2004. That's when I first put my first ad up, honey. Yeah, I was 10. I think that's one of the things that first blew out. Her song with Nelly. When was that? 2002 Dilemma. When did Commander come out? Kelly Rowland's Commander. When did that come out? 2011. I was in middle school fighting gay allegations. That's funny. I was in middle school when R. Kelly was marrying Aaliyah. When R. Kelly was coming to the high schools and picking up young girls. I was in middle school when they was bumping and grinding. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Seems like you're ready. I was coming of age when they was molesting little girls. When the R&B singers was doing that. Oh my God, 2000. Y'all was graduating in 2012. I was on YouTube. I have been on YouTube for 3 years by then. I was good and grown. I was 30. I was 30 on that. 31. Mhm. We didn't have the internet when I was in middle school. 94. Middle school was 2000 and 2003, 2004, 2005. When trade was still trade. The good old days. So nothing make me feel old except for men. Not in no like they say something to make me feel old, but how men respond to transness now lets me know that I'm getting older. We had the internet, but we could be on the phone at the same time. Not in '94. I don't remember the internet being around. I know it was around somewhere, but I don't know. Folks didn't have the internet consistently, like where you go to somebody's house and they got the internet until Napster era, which was like 99, 98, 2009. In my middle school years, which was in 93, 94, it wasn't no internet. Not common. It might have been somewhere. I'm sure it existed. Internet been existed, but common in the household, that didn't happen till 99, 2000 for my era. Mm, I think my family got internet in like 2003, 2004. It was a dial up. Now we got internet. We got internet in 2000. That's when I had access to 99, 2000. That's when I had full access to it. I didn't get the dial up. I didn't have to use those until I moved to Mississippi, which was 2005. Then we had to use those dial up um, AOL CDs. That's because my mom didn't have the internet, but everybody else who I was with and myself from 2099 to 2004, because that's when I was a hoe, I had the internet. I was a hoe. Mm, mm. Who else? Um, and then when it was just us, yeah, I've never not had the internet. I'm trying to think of in since 2000. I had to have it because it has been all a part of my life. But when the internet became the source of coins, baby, was 2003 to 2005. That was the heyday of the whole days, baby. You could get on the internet and make so much money. It was like really. I miss those days. I wish those days were still here. It was money was so good, y'all. If you were in sex work, money was so good. You could put you up an ad. You put you up either an ad in the paper or on Craigslist, and you can come up with 3 or 4 G's in a weekend. Easy. It used to be so beautiful because most people didn't have the internet except for people with a coin. So when they was looking for some fun, they had a coin. And you didn't the gay boys hadn't started flooding the ads. The police wasn't on the ads. They wasn't doing stings. They wasn't doing none of that foolishness. It was just the Wild Wild West. And you could say $300 or $400 was your rate, and they was paying it because you know how the butch queens dressing up in drag just to make money. Yeah, my YouTube check from 2010 to 2012 were love. And then when they changed that algorithm to benefit them and not the creator, it shifted. Now it's a hell of a lot being about it. I clicked escort and became a sugar daddy. Shit, it's hard to find sugar daddies nowadays. You used to run into them, now you don't. Yeah, I make where I make my most money now as far as internet is Patreon. Oh, I never believed you could find a sugar daddy on sugar daddy sites. I always thought that that was a game, a gimmick. But all the avenues of getting clients is kind of messed up. Hmm. Yeah, it was only tricks on there, I guess. I'm pretty. They still use Craigslist for other stuff, but not for escorting. I don't know if they still use it for other stuff. I don't know. But the beauty of Craigslist at the time is that Craigslist, because of it was the place where they did really other stuff. Like you could sell your car on there, sell pets, sell put ads for a lawnmower. They put so much stuff on Craigslist that all types of people would run into your ad on Craigslist. So, and it didn't look like an escort site. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas when you go now with other escort site, it looks like an escort site. So if your wife walk in on you on the escort sites and she see all the girls, then the blah blah. But your wife walking in on you on Craigslist is not obvious what you're doing. So there's that. And then you would run into so many random people would be on Craigslist. Like I have a a, a NBA playing nigga that I literally met on Craigslist years ago. We still cool and talk and friends and all that kind of stuff. And he was an early one of my clients, but I met him on Craigslist. It was so gaggy that I'm like, why are you on here? Um, you would run into the celebrities. Like I think I told y'all this. I met Carl Thomas on Online Booty Call. That was not a secret or anything. We didn't hook up, but met him randomly there when he had first came to Houston, and we talked. And he was cool as hell. We talked about all kinds of crazy shit. But it used to be You would run into them. Like you would run into people, just random people, because everybody was using it for something. And so you would run into them. Um, it just was a time. It was a time. Yeah, I used Black Planet. Black Planet was really good. Yeah, y'all were too young to be on Black Planet when Black Planet was popping. Black Planet stopped popping in late 2000s. Yeah, stopped popping. Once MySpace got to popping, it killed. MySpace killed Black Planet for Black folks. MySpace killed Black Planet, and what killed? And I think Facebook killed MySpace. Yeah, Facebook killed MySpace. Oh yeah, that's all the places that they could be on, Grinder and Jacked. Um, is A for A still around? Is Adam for Adam still around, or is that gone? Yeah, we knew all the work. Um, A for A is still there. Work. It's still around, but nobody on it. So A for A, Black BGC, Black Gay Chat, all that was for like the gay boys. Downlink um was for the lesbians. That's where all the lesbians was at. BGC Live is still around. I don't think BGC is still around. Um, um, BGC Live used to be called Black Gay Chat. That's why it's BGC. Um, they tried to rebrand. That was a time too. BGC, the era of Black Planet and the era of BGC, and MySpace and BGC was at the same time to me. Um, but that 2006, 2007, 2008 era of BGC, ooh, that was fun. I love that. The forums, the chat rooms, everything. It was. I love that era. Grinder, I feel like it's mostly for gay men, but I see a lot of trans girls on there giving their rates. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Jack for more black, um, Grinder for more white, all for gay boys. But I see trans girls on there and trans boys, the ones that like men. Excuse me. Mm, 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 mm. The stories on BGC used to be everything. Yeah, BGC used to be everything. It used to be so fun. We'd be in there roasting. We'd be in there. Uh, it just used to be fun. Just a bunch of problematic shenanigans. Roasting people. People would get on camera and you just get to roasting them. Because some girls would get on camera and like they sickly and you just be reading. Dudes be on there, you reading them looking dusty, or they be looking good. It just depends. I remember there was a lot of games on Tag too. Tag was popular for me in trying to think when Tag was popular. That was like early 2010. Nah, I was still popping on MySpace, 2010, 2012. But that's the era where Facebook was popping and it started killing MySpace. My area of Houston is really white on Grindr. There's Mocha Space, but it's shady as hell. Ooh, y'all remember Nude Africa? That was in the mid 2000s. That was the era. I remember Nude Africa. Nude Africa was popping too. You can make you some coins on there. Night Flirt used to be popping. Night Flirt's still around. Um, mhm. Not New Africa, Nude, 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 Nude Africa. It was where it was like a blog, but you could post yourself, your sexy pictures and exchange numbers with people, but it was like mostly black folks on there, Nude Africa. I believe, I believe in you. I don't know about black. Black is now. I'm meeting a lot of people on black now, not back in the day. Did you ever take out ads on the penny saver type magazines? Penny saver type magazines. No, I used to take ads on the in the paper, but I don't know if it was what you would call the penny savers. But I did used to take ads out in the local newspapers. Yes, I actually had a list of all the papers across the country, and I would put an ad in them when I was coming. If I knew I was traveling there, Black has them in. Black do have them in. I love Black. Only thing negative about Black, I wish that you could send pictures on Black. I hate that you can't send pictures. I have to transfer them from Black to my Instagram. And I don't want to transfer them to my Instagram because my Instagram, I got like it's verified. It's got like 20,000 followers. So every time I send them to my Instagram, they think that, oh, you famous. What do you, it turns into a conversation of why I have so many people following me instead of it being just like a regular conversation. They have to figure out why that. And then that leads to, not that I don't want them to know my tea, but there's a certain way. I already explained it to y'all that I want to tell my tea. But a lot of people don't have Kick no more. It used to be I love Kick, but a lot of people don't have Kick no more. Facebook dating, I don't know. I ain't never tried it, but sounds like it would be weird. Oh, somebody wanted to talk about Black Mirror. Do y'all want to? I'll do a live on that. Not right now, but I did enjoy Black Mirror. The men are there are finer than black. Are they? I know that's right. Well, all right, y'all. We've been on here for 4 hours, child. Thumbs up if you have been here. I will talk to y'all. What's tomorrow? Saturday? I don't know if I'm gonna be not busy Saturday. But if I'm not busy, I'll come through. What if you think of the idol? I'm not feeling it. I don't know what that is. It's not so segregated in Cali. Black and white on Grander. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's because a lot of black folks in Cali like white people. They don't really. If I'm to be honest, a lot of black folks don't date other black people in Cali, especially the men folks. So of course on Grinder is the black folks love to be on Grinder. The Idol is the same. It's the show by the same creator as Euphoria. Who is the stars though? Who is the actresses on it? I make you surrender to my loving baby. I make you surrender to my loving baby. Lily Rose Depp. Is that Johnny Depp's daughter? Is that a real person? Um, the weekend is on Idol. What is the premise? What is it about? What is the what's the premise of the show? I don't like Weekend actually. I'm not a fan of the Weekend, like his music, but is he an actor? Is he a good actor? Because the Weekend, as far as a musician, I hate him. I don't know what it's about, but I've just seen the memes. Is it on HBO? What show is it on? What streaming service is it on? It seems lightly based on Britney Spears, but it's hypersexualized. Oh. From what I heard, it was the most unsexy sex scene featuring him. So I'm good. I like my broccoli steamed. That sounds weird. But all right, y'all. I will talk to y'all later. I won't be doing idle. It don't sound like it. But maybe. Good night, y'all.